cordial speaker for the moment. I am Scott. I'm coming live from Bowling Green, Ohio. Hey, yeah, it sucks here, but that's where I live. And up top over here, we've got Brandon, and he is the king of the Game Junction. So we'll turn it over to him. Brandon, it's up to you, baby.
Woo!
Go.
I'm not the king of anything.
Woo!
What's up, guys? We are talking horror this month. We don't really have a game plan for tonight, but just gonna dive into like some horror discussion. Like, I don't know. I was looking at some stuff that I played in the past. Looking at watching some Silent Hill 2 footage. I watched Resident Evil. Went through like the director's cut. Watched some footage of that today. Refreshing myself. It's been a minute since I played like, I don't know what the last horror game I played was. I think it was Saw 2. Like, just
I have. Oh God, Saw 2! Don't get me
I
started.
was going to do something on it, like a funny video on it, and I just checked how bad it was again.
There is no way to do a funny video on Saw 2.
You could attempt to.
I think that's.
I got one.
What's up? What
I'm not
you
gonna
got?
say. I
He's
don't
got
wanna
one.
ruin the surprise.
You
Oh,
got
he's
one.
holding it.
Okay, you
He's
got
holding
one.
it.
All right. What's up with everybody else? What's going on? How's the week been?
Busy, a lot of driving.
The week's been a nightmare. It's October, bro. It's starting October already.
That's right.
October's like crazy. This year, man.
I love my job. I drove 1,500 miles in a week.
Hey.
Yeah, I love it.
Ooh.
And that was on a bus.
Nice rides. You gotta listen to some good podcasts, though, right?
Oh, I'm used to the podcast. You got to download a lot. There's like no cell signal out here half the time when I drive, so got down like 5 podcasts. It's just too much to drive.
Even better, no cell signal while you drive. Yeah. Anyway, I was just like, crazy week, man. All kinds of stuff going on, but just prepping for the podcast. Been talking with you folks, and I kind of thought of like some other topics for like the other podcasts, like horror directed, but I don't know. I figured we just like dive into something. Just we get into our our random discussions, and it leads to the end of the podcast before we know it. So throw up something. Always does. We just get down the weird corners, and we end up not even talking about the subject. So it's
I kind of want to lead in. So I actually listened. I wasn't able to make the last podcast.
Yeah.
We were doing our convention and everything, but I do want to talk about the Hellraiser. You were talking about the new Hellraiser they're doing for Hulu, and I'm kind of interested in that. That was always one of my favorite franchises as a kid.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To me, it like was better than any of the Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Street. Like Hellraiser just had that gore aspect to it.
Yeah.
So I was always interested in that really, really a lot, and it scared the shit out of me when I was younger and watched it. Not gonna lie, like the very first one, it was like that concept of the box, and I always loved that idea of it. So I'm interested to see where that goes, and I would actually kind of love a real game like that. Besides just like they do the Dead by Daylight skins and shit, which was pretty cool that they adapted it into that. But they need to make a real cool game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Good universe to have a game based in, for sure.
I could definitely see it being like that. I can't remember the name of the Nintendo game. It was for GameCube. The one that was like, it was a psychological game, would mess with you while you're playing. Like it would make you think your memory card was deleted.
I heard of that, but I don't remember what the game's called.
Eternal Darkness?
Internal Darkness. There you go. So like,
That's
yeah,
what I
you
was
totally
thinking.
do some kind of game like that to where, you're playing along and all of a sudden just shit starts happening and you're like, what? And like, I don't know. There's a concept there that could be had with that Hellraiser franchise, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely.
Well, especially since, I guess Silent Hill is still dead until we hear further. There's really nothing fitting
dead for a
into,
while.
that kind of, universe as far as the horror aspect is, not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, didn't they just they announced that they were canceling the Stadia, so that the game
Shocker.
he was working on a game specifically for the Stadia, and there goes that one right up the turd.
I mean, you don't have to get rid of the game. It's just not going to be for Stadia anymore. Just release it as a third-party game at that point.
Yep.
I hope he can has like the licensing for that, and they don't just own it, so they just squashed it.
Yeah, because if if they were licensed to do it just for Google Stadia, then there it goes.
Exactly.
Unless Google wants to actually sell the license and go, hey, we're going to put this out for PS5, Xbox.
That's behind the scenes stuff they can work on. I don't see why they couldn't get it done though.
It would be smart if they did, because they've already put all that money into it. They may as well go ahead. They may as well go ahead and have a fire sale.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was pretty close to a complete game at that point.
Yeah, it'd be a waste of money just to not release the game at that point.
But then again, we've seen a lot of games that were wastes of money over the years, because I don't like the new Rainbow Six Siege and all that crap, and I was looking forward to Rainbow Six Patriots. I still have the Game Informer that featured that on the cover, and it was like
that's
page after page after page.
That just became Rainbow.
Yeah,
I used to play it. I used to like it, and then they started making a bunch of like changes to the game. It wasn't like the new operators, more of just like gameplay changes with certain loadouts, and my friend stopped playing it. I didn't like the changes, so I just gradually stopped playing it. But I used to like the game when it was in its first like 3 or 4 years out.
Hey, Brandon's back.
Figured it out.
We missed
Apologies
you.
about that. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Technical
I had to reset.
difficulties.
Yeah.
I just thought
I had
maybe a
to-
pizza guy came
It
by.
wouldn't be a Game Junction podcast without some technical difficulties.
No, always, right?
It's just part of the charm.
All
at
right,
this
so
point.
let's not interrupt the conversation when we're talking about here.
No, you already did, Brandon.
Yeah.
You're back.
You already ruined
Too
it.
late.
All right, well, let's talk about this one here. So
What do
this
you
is one of
got?
my favorite horror games of all time. Leisure Suit Larry.
I have
Leisure
never
Suit
played.
Larry.
I have never played that, and I have never played the Silent Hill series.
Really? Oh,
Do
you
it.
gotta play Silent
Do it.
Hill for sure. For
Just
sure.
If
Silent
if-
Hill,
if-
not played
if you can get past the graphics now, the graphics don't hold up very well these days, but like if you can get past that story, in my opinion,
I
is
can
like
get past
some of
that.
the
I
best
can
shit.
get past that
Yeah.
for Silent Hill. It's all right. So let me name like 3 must play horror games. I would say
Let's hear 'em.
Clock Tower 2, right, for me.
I can see it.
Silent Hill 2, of course, that's like a given. And then this was probably kind of most wouldn't say, but I would probably say for Resident Evil, I really dig the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube. It's one of my favorite
Solid.
Resident Evil games. It's good. So there's like
I like
3
the
you gotta
list.
play. Yeah, Clock Tower for sure though. I love Clock Tower.
Yes.
Obviously, it's
All
it's
good.
in the collecting scene. It's known about now, but it's not really a well-known game. So
Oh, no, definitely.
Right.
Cool one.
I'll have to throw in I'll Bleed for Dreamcast when I finally got to play that one. That was actually a really cool concept, also with like your heart rate monitor and stuff like that in the game.
Yeah,
That
that
game's
was
freaking hard as hell too.
It is. Yeah, I didn't get very far, but like what I did play of it, that shit was cool.
for
It-
sure.
Yeah, it's a good.
Guys.
It's got good jump scares in it. It's a fun one.
Yeah, that is a cool one. A lot of people don't talk about that one. There's another one. Geist, I was gonna say on GameCube is a really good one. I always like that one anyway.
You gotta
There's
play-
another one. Good.
No, I was gonna say there's like a one that came out a few years recently. Like it's a good horror game multiplayer. It's Dead by Daylight.
I just
Yeah,
downloaded that for the first
Yes,
time
Dead by
last night.
Daylight is
Yeah, I
very
played. It's
good.
been a while
Just
since I played it,
downloaded
but
it.
I mean, it's kind of like a hide and seek type thing, but it definitely perfectly fits that genre. Especially if you
played
want
They,
to
they,
play.
Friday
they got that
the 13th
licensing
game.
thing on point too, though. That's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
They got the Hellraiser licensing. They got
Silent Hill in
Friday
there.
the 13th.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got I don't think they have
Everything.
Jason because Jason had his
No.
own game, but it finally
Yeah,
got
they
canceled.
didn't have Jason.
No, they had the Michael
Freddy-
Myers.
Michael
Freddy
Myers,
was
yeah.
in there too, right?
Yeah, Freddie was in there.
That's
Michael
crazy.
Myers, like all kind of good shit.
Stranger
Oh, yeah.
Things.
I'm just not a fan
Hill.
of that multiplayer. Like, give me some kind of game like that where I can just play like a
Offline
single
game.
player campaign
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It gets a little
Dive
harder,
into a
but
story.
So
Well,
I
that's
think-
what was cool about the Friday the 13th game is,
Yeah.
even though it is multiplayer, you can
Mhm.
go offline with it, and you can play it kind of bot style. And they were
Right.
supposed to have the campaign, and then it got canceled just because of the lawsuits.
yeah.
So
yeah.
that kind of sucks. And
It's
also,
cool though that it's cool that we got a new Friday the 13th game because I didn't think that would happen. They had
Was,
issues with
yeah.
that forever.
yeah, and I really enjoy the game a lot. And
Me too.
Was good.
I didn't like playing Jason as much. I prefer playing as one of the counselors. But
Mhm.
if I have to play as Jason, I will. But I thought the game was really fun, and just some of the ways that you get dismembered or killed, or that you can kill somebody if you're playing as Jason. They were very 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 cool. The music was fantastic. It was directly from the
Music.
movies and everything.
Yeah.
Even though the graphics weren't all that great, I finally started to realize that it's not so much that the graphics weren't great, that they were going for a VHS look. And then when I finally realized that, I was like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty damn cool. And surprisingly, see, I have it for Xbox, for PS4, and I also have it for the Switch. And surprisingly, the one that had the most people online playing it was the Switch, and I was very, very surprised.
I have it on PS4 and Switch as well. Yeah, I played Switch, and it's like a thriving community on there.
Yeah.
Can you wrap somebody up in a sleeping bag and beat them against a tree? That's all I want to know. If you can't do that, I'm not playing that fucking game.
Jason X scene. Do you remember like the scene where they're like projecting the campers?
Yes.
Well, Tony, I'll tell you this. One of my videos, if you have a chance, I did a full video on Friday the 13th, and there is definitely a scene. There is definitely a scene where somebody's getting beaten to death with a sleeping bag, and I made sure that I put that in there because my best friend and I, we think that's the funniest thing we ever saw. We were crying.
That was one of the best death scenes in that whole franchise. Was him just.
That was your video that grabbed me, Scott. I like that video a lot.
I gotta say, I just want to mention we had some comments from the YouTube. This electronic emotions program says he was in a huge, he was in a group on the new Final 13. He was Jason. They wanted to try to. They tried the convoluted method to kill Jason. I agreed. Yeah, it was a neat take part in that.
It is. I looked it up the one time, and it is very convoluted to do it. It's kind of difficult to do it. I would never try to do it. It's just because like you have to. Number one, I can't remember how you do it though. It's like somebody has to be wearing Jason's mom's sweater. It has to be a female, and then you all have to gang up on him. And I don't know. But it can be done. There are YouTube videos. So if you like the Friday the 13th game and you do play it, but you never knew that you could do this and you actually want to do it, look it up. See if you have some friends that want to try to gang up and kill Jason, because you can actually end him. Done.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. That's wild. Yeah,
totally,
I didn't know that.
Completely.
You say we had some other comments?
I mean, he made.
Also
it's the same guy that made a few comments. That was his most recent one. He also said, leave Silent Hill dead. The name doesn't really mean anything in this franchise. Or as a franchise.
So, the game that we should have got, hold on, it's slipping my mind right now. Shane would know. The game that didn't come out, that we were supposed to get.
PT?
What?
Yeah, PT.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I still have that on PS3.
Some guy on, was it on Oculus, like the side quest? Station.
Yes, somebody made a recreation.
Like finished building that game.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Like a fan project.
I played it in Dreams, but I didn't know they did it in the
I still gotta play Dreams.
Yeah,
VR
has it on there as well.
I was gonna say VR is like the perfect environment for horror games to immerse yourself, and then you can't get away from it. Like,
so
I'm gonna close my eyes.
I got to try Resident Evil VR, Resident Evil 4 VR this week. They get to try it. Best way, most immersive way to play that game. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
So the game looks like GameCube graphics. I don't know how to explain it though. Somehow it's still immersive. Like it doesn't look good, but you still feel like super. Yeah. So like you're kind of like overpowered a little bit, like versus like the regular game. But it feels good. You feel like super immersed in the game, and like I have like zero experience with VR. Like I played it with Oculus. I think it's only on Oculus, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
I played on Oculus too, at my buddy's house, and it's cool. It's really cool. I mean, it almost makes me want to get an Oculus, but I know I'm getting the PSVR too, so it's like,
just wait.
You know what I mean?
They're gonna. There's another Oculus headset coming out also.
Oh yeah.
It's not breaking news, but yeah, the Pro headset's coming out soon, and that shit looks cool.
Yeah, you think it'll be better than the PSVR 2?
Well, they say it's got eye tracking, and I think the PSVR PSVR's got eye tracking also.
Oh yeah.
I think the main difference is the PSVR is going to have like the 4K the 4K screens for your eyes, whereas like the Oculus can't put that
individual
out
4K screens.
Exactly, because it doesn't have that wired connection with it, so it can't put out as much.
Right. Yeah.
That wireless part though, that's the seller.
That's more immersive to me. Exactly.
But that's also the issue with it. You know what I mean? Like that also limits it.
The trade-off.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, what do you want? I guess for the
Mhm.
consumer, like
So
I would. Go ahead, Mark.
oh no, I just wanted to like ask, like, as far as like the horror VR games, like, did you all like have a preference? Because I know this electronic was saying that his for VR horror RE7 was like what definitely won him over.
I haven't played that, but God,
I've
that would
definitely
be
seen
so
videos of
good.
it.
It's
Bad.
RE7
Yeah,
is pretty
played it?
badass in VR. Yeah,
Very good.
I played
Very
enough
good.
of it to like really. Yeah, it's.
I love
Played
that
through it
game.
That's one of the
I
most
love
immersive
Resident Evil 7.
To me, the only thing that can make that game more immersive is when I stretch my arms out. If I could actually see my arm and like at least attached to my body.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
You know where
Yeah, that'd be cool.
to me that's the biggest cutoff for me with most of those immersive games is when you reach your arm out and you see
Floating
just like a hand
hands.
floating in
Yeah.
front of you.
Yeah.
Like I
That
don't
is
even have
cool,
to
yeah,
necessarily
for
see my
sure.
body, but at least make a model up to a shoulder to where I can look up my arm a little bit.
To be fair, I mean that wasn't created as a VR game, so they just kind of. It
That's
seems like
true.
it was kind of a thrown together thing to like offer another feature for the PSVR. So I don't know, maybe that'd be cool though. I like seeing those. I like seeing the YouTube videos where they're doing stuff with their hands and.
And
and
I'll
stuff
say
like
too that I did play that one on the PSVR, so it was a lot different with the hand controllers, with those stupid move controllers versus like
Yeah.
playing it with an Oculus where you actually have like the finger tracking and all that. So
Right.
that could have been a
Oh,
little
that's
bit of a
interesting.
disconnect as well. Yeah, the
Yeah,
move
I didn't know it
controllers
did
are just
that.
they're not like natural. They're just so weird. It almost feels like you're trying to shoot a gun
Well,
the entire time you're playing with
They're,
move
they're
controllers.
made for the PS3s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and they
it
just
seems
carried
like
that
it was.
over.
Get to adapt it.
It seems like it was just kind of an afterthought. Hey, we've already done this. Let's just kind
Clearly
of,
an afterthought.
instead of innovating,
use
let's
them.
just keep using the same shit.
yeah, I
very
could be
much,
wrong,
very
but
much
they
so.
did nothing
Just porting
with
it.
like the PS4 released versions of those, right? Nothing's
No.
changed. I didn't think
Well,
so.
a little,
Okay.
the USB
buttons on
y-
the side and the USB plug's different.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then
I didn't
the
even
thumb
know
button,
that.
The
So.
thumb button was more of like a clear version of a button versus like a flat black with a sticker on it.
But like
Mhm.
the
no-
tech
nothing-
inside, nothing's different.
No.
No, tracking's the same.
Wild,
all of
dude.
it.
Those came out like 2012 or something. I think it was the year I
Okay.
graduated.
Long
Yeah, that's
time
crazy.
ago on those.
Might have been before that. Yeah.
But I mean, that's where I played my first real horror game in VR too. Though it was that roller coaster ride. I can't remember the damn name at this point. Hell,
the,
Blood.
Yeah. It's a spinoff of the. I really like that game.
It's on
Oh,
the- you're- It's like a
Until
shooting roller
Dawn.
coaster.
Yeah, it's an on-rail shooter. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
spinoff of that
Until
series.
Dawn,
I really.
Hell.
It's not
I
bad
think
at
it
all.
is
And
called
then,
Hell.
like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like the third level you go into. It had like all the pigs hanging. Like
I want to play
that,
that.
to me is like
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
horror shit. Like you're riding through that roller coaster and all the pigs are hanging
yeah,
down over
so it's
you.
the
And like, oh,
Rush of
God, it's so
Blood.
good.
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood.
Yeah, it's
That's
Until
it. New
Dawn
something blood.
spinoff. Yeah, that's cool.
Clown level was pretty. Ugh.
Yeah,
Clown
that was a
zombies.
freaky one too. I think that was the second or fourth level. I know I
was
think
the
the
fourth
pig
one.
level was the third one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
People say that's actually a better game. Like there's nothing wrong with Until Dawn, but it's like a choose your own adventure sort of thing, but it's interesting.
Now, Until Dawn was a great game, and if you like that game, there's actually a series. It's the Dark Pictures anthology.
Hmm.
Graphically
the
speaking,
Maid of Median or whatever it's called.
yeah, you have got Man of Medan, House
Yeah,
of
Man of Medan.
Ash.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what the most recent one is, but graphically, those games look awesome, and I like
Yeah.
the breakdown with those. It's horror. It's got like the branching storyline kind of thing, like a choose your own adventure style, and
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed all of those.
Those just don't keep my attention much, but something about Until Dawn was really cool. I like the story, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and
I don't know what it
the way
was.
it's, I mean, I guess you'd say like the way that the camera works, and you feel like you're watching a movie. Like the way
Yeah,
the
it did
camera
feel
was
like a movie.
dynamic. It would move in sections, and it very.
You
felt-
that was
I
a
definitely
cool
felt
one.
with that movie it was more of like actors in the game versus like a
Oh,
game
yeah.
of actors. Like
Yeah.
Like captured.
it really felt like
people,
they
yeah.
paid somebody good money to come and act
They
this
might
game
have.
out.
Mhm.
You
Well,
played
yeah.
the
I
first
I mean, it had
Until
what
Dawn?
was it? It had
Tony?
Dakota Fanning, right? It had Dakota Fanning in it, if I'm not mistaken.
And it also had
Yeah.
that guy Remy, the guy that played Freddie Mercury in the.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit, yeah, it did,
What's his
didn't it? I
name?
forgot
Yeah.
about
I
that.
can't remember his name, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Remy Malik. And then yeah.
Remy Ratatouille.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that
Ratatouille.
popped up on my Google search.
Be right back.
But yeah.
Those are really
Until
good.
Dawn's.
I gotta.
But I think that's what's interesting about horror games is like when they first, like for example with like PS2 and games of that era, and maybe even a little. They were great at the time, and if you have nostalgia for them, you can go back and play them, kind of, sort of. But I think horror.
Yeah, if you don't, though, it's a little bit hard.
Yeah, because the videos that that are coming up soon that I'm doing for my channel, I have a top 10 horror thing going on, and I decided to draw the line at the 7th generation because if you go back further than Xbox 360 and PS3, I think it kind of takes you out of that. I think we've gotten past the point of, well, this kind of looks like this, and it's kind of scary. And like Land of the Dead, I thought Land of the Dead was great on the Xbox, especially if you were wearing headphones or if you played it on the PC. It was scary as hell. Yeah, but it is a rough game. The sounds are what's really great for that game, but I never could finish it because it was kind of clunky. So, I sold it and that was it. But, newer games, like, just for example, I had never played the original Fear until this past week. And, yeah, it's a really great game, and it's very smooth on the Series X because it's 60 frames per second. The graphics aren't improved so much, but because it runs so smoothly, and it is creepy as hell. It's more of an action game, but it is creepy as hell.
It is, yeah.
But it's kind of hard to go back to, because it's hard to go back to, say, something like Resident Evil or Resident Evil 2, the originals.
Yeah,
I played the original Resident Evil 2 on the PS1, and it was great back then, but when I put it in now, I'm just like...
Yeah, that's like my first foray. I tried to go in and play when they released it on PlayStation Plus, the original Resident Evil, and it's hard. You don't know what you're doing. It's clunky.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's not like it's a bad game.
Controls.
Those tank controls are just way terrible.
Let me tell you something.
Those fixed camera angles kill me.
Well, there are plenty of older games that you can play even now.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, the graphics on this are so great, and you can jump into it, and they're old. They're older games. They're 20 plus years old. Some of the racing games. Huh?
3D changed that.
Yeah.
I mean, when we got into Sega Saturn and all this stuff, it got
Changing
Jaguar and...
Well, there are some racing games that I played here in the past month that are just fantastic for the PS2.
Fucking Gran Turismo 2 for the PS2, one of the best racing games in my opinion of all time.
Gran Turismo 4 is fantastic, but some of the ones that I'm talking about, let me see if I can find it here real quick.
While you find that, I just wanted to mention he wants to be called the EEP or EEP, one or the other. He said RE2 is still a great on PS1.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the original Resident Evil as well.
I guess if you never played,
there are better ways to play those. Yeah, there's
better. What I was gonna say is some of
play.
those games, like if you didn't necessarily play them growing up, and it's your first foray into like some of these older games, are really hard. They just feel clunky.
Tough.
Yeah.
So like
the two off-kilter games that I was talking about, where the graphics are really good, the ones that are not your mainstream games like Gran Turismo or Need for Speed or even Burnout, something that it was in the video that I did a couple weeks ago. Shocks Rally Reinvented is probably the best of the 10 games that I put up there. It's really mind-blowing that the PS2 actually could do that. And Smash Cars, you're playing with remote control cars.
Yeah.
But the graphics are really, really great. And some of the other games were actually pretty decent too, like Downhill Domination, Splashdown Rides Gone Wild. Gadget Racers was okay. Extreme G Racing 3 was really good. And then
Extreme G.
Yeah, I mean those are really good. But with the horror games, I think that I have, what's that game called? Ghost Hunter for the PS2.
Yeah, that's one.
I tried playing it, and
I didn't like that one.
No, it's clunky, and because it's so outdated looking, it takes me out of the game. So
horror games
I think we've gotten spoiled.
Yeah, the horror games are the ones that usually don't hold up like as well as any other genre. Like they're always.
Why do you think they're remaking them? Brandon, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
Look at all the remakes that are coming out from Resident Evil, the Silent Hill that is allegedly coming out. those are great
Someday.
stories, and they have hopefully. Well, since I've never played Silent Hill, and I've heard so much good about it. If they come out with it,
That's the way to go back to it. Yeah,
I'll jump on it.
It's assuming that they
You know,
they make it a good remaster remake.
It's
'Cause
so
they
hard
could,
to.
They could do that and ruin it.
They could,
If
yeah,
you-
for
yeah.
sure.
If
It's
you
hard to
feel like
recommend
going
some of these
back,
games.
and,
Go ahead.
well, I'd say if you, Scott, if you want to try a Silent Hill after not playing any of them, and if graphics, graphic being the bottleneck is kind of what holds you back a little bit, maybe check out like Silent Hill
Plus.
4: The Room.
Yeah.
The room is.
Isn't that one a little difficult to get hold of though?
Not
They all
too
are.
terribly. I mean, yeah, they all are to a degree, but that one not so much as some of the other ones.
Yeah, it's on the cheaper
I feel
end.
like the graphics in that one held up a little bit better because that one came out toward like the very close
Okay.
to the end
Tail
of
end
the
of the
lifespan of the
system.
system.
So it was pushing the system then.
And yeah,
Sort
it
of.
definitely was pretty graphically impressive, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of the games that were going to make the cut, but then they did not make the cut just because they were so I hate to say clunky, but old, like The Thing. Oh God!
Yeah, that was
And
a rough one.
Back then
Plus,
you
it's like
could
a
play it, but now
64 game.
that game and the controls on it, I wanted to gouge my own fucking eyes out.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. And
I
then
tried really hard with that one too.
Manhunter and Manhunter 2. Manhunt.
See, I was a
Manhunt.
big
Manhunt.
fan of Manhunt.
Oh, I
Manhunt
love
was really
Manhunt.
fun. We played the shit out of that when
Yeah.
that came out.
The
But
controls
like,
are still great
I
too.
could see going back to it being a little bit difficult now, but like that was fun as shit
It-
back in the day, and that was a whole different
man.
concept. Of, like, let me play the
Yes.
killer. Like that's so cool.
Dude,
But
Manhunt
Tony-
2. Oh, I love
I
that
heard
game.
that with
Love
Manhunt
it.
2 on the Wii. I've never played it.
It's
but
the
I
best
heard that you
version.
can actually use the nunchucks and
It's
you
the
can
best
choke people with it.
version.
Oh,
Yes,
shit.
I have it
I'm
over
sold.
here. If I could reach it, I would. But it's the best version of that game. I swear to God.
Nice.
It's
so-
crazy.
Stabbing motion with the Wiimote and shit. And I'm
It's
sure Nintendo
wild.
was all
And-
about like, what did we do?
Right,
But, you know,
right. That was that was the game where people were like, "Whoa, what?" And then there was a game on the DS called Moon, and it was the first M-rated game on the DS, right? So both those games were like, "What's Nintendo doing? Like, what's going on? We got M-rated games on the Nintendo systems," and that kind of like
And
just,
being able to choke people out with the nunchucks on the Wii.
But that's an underrated
Oh, yeah.
one, Moon, on the DS.
Never heard of
It's a
that one.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter on the DS. It's similar in the style of like Metroid Prime Hunters, but it's essentially a horror game on the moon.
So did you
Interesting.
struggle with like the stealth when you're playing Manhunt?
What do you mean? I mean, you struggle with a lot of PS2 games.
No, like
So
like
I
it's-
mean, like trying to stay quiet and stuff.
It
Yeah.
won't stand
Yeah.
and drive.
Like, so you're more of that one of Leroy Jenkins and just run out into shit.
well,
and
that's
take
me.
care of
I was also
Leroy
referencing the
Jenkins.
Eep was saying he was struggles with stealth, so that's why I brought it up
Yep.
a little bit.
Okay, so I have an issue with that sometimes in actual stealth games like the what's
Metal Gear
the
Solid.
sniper, you know, they're up to like
Sniper
12
Elite.
days
Sniper
now.
Elite.
Sniper Elite, yeah, exactly. All those, like, because I am that guy sometimes too in those games. I get bored with just creeping around and stuff. But that game kind of, I guess, it put me in that like serial killer mindset and having to really creep and get up on people versus
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm just a guy with a gun. I can just run it at any time and go shoot stuff. You know.
But see, that's the thing with Sniper Elite, though.
This one
'cause
changed that for me.
I've played halfway through 5 so far, and actually a little more than halfway. You have that chance if you want that you can do both. Because I definitely go cowboy. Just like, all right, screw it, just go in there, guns and blows.
Yeah.
Blah! But there's you have the times where you have to go hide, and it's like, or you have to hide from them because they know where you're
Yeah.
at. And but when I found the bell tower, I was like, oh baby, it was great.
I haven't played 5 yet, but this game is it's another sniping game, but it like changed that for me. I didn't get bored.
What is it?
You didn't just.
What game is it, Brandon?
It's called
Sniper
Sniper
Contracts 2.
Yeah, Contracts 2. I had a lot of fun with that. I haven't played 5 though, so I can't speak on that. But
I'm not real big on stealth unless the only one that I've really been big on, of course, is Metal Gear. But that's it.
Yeah.
I
I'm
as
not
far
big
as
on
like
stealth either.
as far as like stealth and kind of the horde, did any of you all play Metro 2033 or any of the Metro games?
Yes. Yes.
Those are
I
those are
haven't
Actually, I'm
played-
playing Metro Exodus right now. Actually.
Yeah, I haven't played Exodus yet. but I
they're
do
really unique games because you can technically you could play them guns blazing or be kind of the stealth, especially with who you kill and you're supposed to. But the game hurts you if you just go guns blazing and just murder everybody. You're gonna get like the bad ending. Like you're supposed to only kill creatures. You gotta like sneak past like human enemies and not kill them, or you get the bad ending like all their games. Like if you want to get the good ending, it requires a lot on stealth, and the games force you
That's
to.
interesting.
The other issue with like going in guns blazing is also like ammo management. It's like a big thing with those games.
Oh my god,
because it's hard.
So that's one thing I'm really learning with Exodus. Like, 'cause
Yeah, you
I've never
gotta-
played any of those games before, and I just picked it up from
you
work.
have to be
We get
stealthy.
points at work, so I got it for free. But like, yeah, ammo. I put it on hard mode also, so maybe I'm not picking up as much ammo as you normally
Probably.
would. But like, oh my god, it's getting pretty
It's an interesting
intense.
game.
Well, that's something that's also great about that particular franchise is you really don't need to have played any of them to play any of them. So you can just
Right.
jump in right on 3, or you can jump right in on 2.
Yeah, they did a good
So,
job with
yeah.
that. Especially if you keep getting the bad ending, you're not gonna make it from game to game technically.
I haven't played those. I need to check
I think they're
those
really
out.
really good games.
I got
It's
a good
beautiful. It's a
discussion
really
here.
nice looking game too.
You
Yeah.
play it at night. It's
I
dark.
watched some of your
really get
streams,
anxious.
Sony, so for sure
If
that
you
it
watch my
looks
stream,
cool.
you need to actually watch somebody like that's streaming it better because it looks way better on somebody else's stream.
What I
Yeah, I
would
was watching
say,
on Facebook in 240p. So
no, I would say the first two games,
Exactly.
the first two games of that series definitely are more
Glorious.
horrorish because you're stuck in the tunnels. Where in the third game you're kind of like outside a lot of the time, which really
Yeah,
gives
so
you that
this one
claustrophobic
isn't
feeling.
outside, and
Yeah,
that's
so-
this one is more of an outside on Exodus, and I kind of do need to go back and play that because I really hate being that claustrophobic like you're talking about. That shit drives me nuts, and that would
Right.
just make me want to play it more because that shit's fun. Like when you get. to
That's
play
what I
those
did
games,
like about
it
2.
makes
You
your
do
adrenaline
get
pump.
outside more.
Yeah,
Yeah. And 1, it was just like inside.
I feel like they
that
went
goes
away.
along what I go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it feels like once they got to the third game, they kind of like abandoned the story from like the first two games they're kind of following. Because especially in the first game, and I believe it trickles into the second game, like with these weird looking creatures, you don't really know what's going on.
Seems pretty cool for sure.
I would
Tony's
say
piqued my
I would
curiosity
say
on something.
more, but it's like a big plot point for the first two games, and it would kind of like ruin everything. So I don't want to go too
No
deep.
spoilers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
no
big
spoilers.
plot spoiler.
Something I was going to bring up is, would you guys consider like the System Shock,
No.
like BioShock games horror? The first one anyway. Would you consider those like
Like half.
horror-ish games?
Maybe it's
I
got
mean,
it dabbles into
Definitely
Well,
not like infinite, but
Suspenseful.
Yeah, more
So
specific.
I'll say
horror.
those
Suspense.
creepy little fucking dolls. Those things.
yeah,
are kinda horror
I
to me.
would have said BioShock 1, System Shock 2, and BioShock 1. I would have said were horror-ish, at least definitely BioShock 1 for sure. I would have said
I mean,
that, but
you're getting chased by a big ass thing.
yeah, it's got the elements. It was
Maybe it
something I
doesn't
wanted
have
to
the
bring up.
horror like vibe, I guess. Like it doesn't really. There's not a lot of blood, gore, kind of like horror, hardcore horror elements. But you
Kind
could
of
you
steampunk.
could kind of
mixed horror.
categorize it as like a vanilla horror.
Yeah,
Eep says Bioshock is certainly horror. I think it has elements of it, but I wouldn't go full on horror myself.
No.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind
No.
of action suspense. That's what I'd lean
Yeah.
on.
I get that for sure. I know buying that first BioShock game, I went into it thinking it was a horror game, so
I did.
I
too.
didn't follow any
Puts
of this.
off the feeling.
Yeah,
Mm.
No,
Well, it's
Road to
kinda
Hell
like,
Retribution is more of a horror game.
Well, how bad the game is.
What was
There you go.
oh shit. It's a newer one that just came out on PS4. I had it in my head just a second ago. I can't remember now.
What's
But,
about
like, I thought
horror?
yeah, they have like clown
still.
like the weird looking white masks. You take the pills during the game. It's called Joy. The pill you take is called Joy, and it makes you see
It's called
differently.
Isn't that a movie?
Happy Few?
Yeah, We Happy
We
Few.
Happy Few,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
bought
I'll
that
never
thinking
play
it was
that.
more of a horror game,
Ugh,
and that was
that game
Yeah,
was
that's
kind of
terrible.
weird.
I'd say that is, yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a considered.
That game
horror.
looked. I watched video. I was following that kind of, and I thought it looked terrible. So,
But I think
do you like it,
different.
Tony?
It's different.
Different.
It's very survival game. It's more
Yeah.
like you really have to eat and drink, and it's not really
Hmm.
just like a. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. I played about a good hour or so into it. It was an interesting story, but I just don't think it was well laid out.
Well, I think sometimes people can define horror slightly differently because there are people who just can't watch, something that's bloody, gory,
Right.
Yeah.
super suspenseful. And I wouldn't necessarily call Mad World for the Wii a horror game at all. It's
Yeah.
an
Like
action
for some
game, but
people, it could be.
yeah, but some people it could be because it's so gory.
Yeah.
and it is very, very gory. And it's a funny ass game.
Yeah,
You know,
it is. That's a good game. I love it.
It's a great game. And if
I love
anybody
it.
is watching and you've never played Mad World on the Wii, number one, it's very inexpensive. Number two,
Yeah.
it's very fun. And number three, it's highly underrated. Go grab a
Yeah.
copy.
And it's
Art
one of the
style
few
game, too.
M-rated games on the Wii. So
Yep, it is.
yeah,
It's like,
You
wait
still
a minute, he
own
just
one.
dropped an F-bomb.
that was another one that was kind of wild. Black and white, all the gore. You know.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, the
I love
style
it.
of it's really interesting.
So I gotta
It is,
ask
it's
Brandon,
cool.
because I know this is like your favorite genre. Did you ever play the best horror game, which is called Doki Doki Literature Club?
You know,
Oh.
actually, I have that game on the PS5, but I know
Play it,
everything
play
that
it.
happens. So I already know
It's
everything that happens.
interesting.
It's definitely a neat game, especially with the jet.
I remember
I
Shane.
hate
Didn't
those
you?
kinda
You were
games.
telling me
Virtual light
about that one
novel.
not so long ago, were you?
Yeah, how there's like that game is so full of like warnings and
It's
like
like
messages.
it's
like,
like
hey, like if you know someone that's dealing with bad thoughts kind of deal, like call this 1-800 hotline number and
it's definitely like a psychological horror more than anything else.
yeah,
See,
it-
that's what I was
game
going to bring
helps
up.
you.
Psychological horror is my go-to, but I think movies do that better for me than games for the most
Well, here,
part. Like,
well, I got one for you if that's the case. Have you played Martha is Dead?
I've heard of it.
No, but I
I've never
have
heard of
that.
it.
I have that on my PlayStation. I think wasn't that like a PS Plus or something at one point?
I
Possible.
scooped the physical one. I don't recall if it was. But
Yeah.
that would be one to check out because that's a really deep psychological horror that's very narrative, story driven. It's very cinematic. Again, if you say that psychological movies are your thing, like check this game out. That's actually one of the most recent ones I played through. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I'll
I
try
do have
that.
a question for y'all to bring up because Eat brought it up. He was mentioning, or he or she, I don't know who you are. He said they're saying genre is an imperfect way to categorize. The best way that they can figure to determine something is horror is to examine the intent behind something. What do y'all
That
feel
is
about
true.
that?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Absolutely,
That's what I
because
would consider. Yeah.
what might scare me may not scare you.
Yeah,
Right.
everyone's got
But
different
yeah, let's
levels.
look
of what
at the
gets to 'em.
source. What was its intent? Whether it does or doesn't. Makes sense.
I
Yeah,
remember
kinda-
watching. Well, there was an episode of Night Court. You remember that show that I was watching here recently? And Dan, the male slut, he found some woman who was super wealthy, but he was only wealthy because she was only wealthy because her dad was wealthy, and he fell in love with her. And it's like, oh, let's get married. And she was kind of not like the prettiest girl and whatever, but he just really fell hard for this chick. And she goes, Dan, Daddy said he will cut me off if I marry you. And she started crying. She was weeping. She's like, I can't live without money. And she was just like, that's it. We're done. And to that person, that's horror. I can't
Yeah.
live that. I mean, she probably go through,
That's
a
true.
couple car accidents and be like, we're good. But, no money, I'm screwed.
Ooh, poor
Oh,
people
the
being
horror.
poor. Oh,
Horror. It can't be
horror.
poor.
hide your cash, y'all. There's poor people
Hey,
around.
I mean,
Listen.
it kind of goes back to like the early Halloween movies though as well. Like you're talking about how gore doesn't necessarily define horror either. A lot of those early movies, it was really just the scene and the atmosphere and the music really that was the horror aspect of it.
Yeah.
You didn't really
There
see any
was no-
stabs or you didn't see the blood or like even blood splatter on the wall wasn't even really a thing,
Right.
They
Right.
didn't really
That's
start
called
doing that
indirect
until way
violence.
later.
You know
It's
what my
called
first horror
indirect
movie
violence.
was? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Chocolate Factory. Yeah.
I could see that as a
Oh,
kid.
dude, when
Okay,
she
no, but that
blows up
fucking
because
tunnel-
she got so fat, I'm like,
No. That tunnel, that original tunnel in that movie where they go through and they're all like freaking out and he's doing that little, there's no Reddit. Dude, bro, that shit scared the fuck out of me as a kid. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, what the fuck is going on with Willy Wonka right now?
Willy Wonka just
Like that
killed
was
like
an evil turn.
he killed like
that
5
movie
children.
is wild. Right.
And then all of a
He was
sudden it's
kinda
like,
scary
we're
as a kid,
here.
too.
That
This is where
movie's
the Bible
wild.
comes from because I'm shitting myself.
Oh, what was the other one? There's another one that's animated. I'm trying to think. It's the one with the rabbits, like in the beginning. Do you remember that movie? I forget what it's called.
That is called
It's like wild. Like
it's called Watershed Down. Is that what it's called?
you guys see this
No idea.
opening scene for this movie. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
I might have to look this up.
Though I'm not gonna lie, you
Brutal.
brought up rabbits.
It's definitely Yeah, like they tout
No,
that
you
movie like it's for kids. That movie is not for
It
kids.
is not for kids.
Oh,
Not for
God,
kids.
no.
I watched
Like,
it as
that
a
was-
kid.
I heard rabbits and I went to Donnie Darko.
No, this movie. They get what? They have rabies, right? What's
I would assume
well,
so.
I can't
It's so
remember.
long since I've seen it. Yeah, it's something like that.
But oh, dude, I just pull up like if there's like just an image of this rabbit, dude, it was terrifying.
Though
but-
I don't know, thinking of like games, like horror type games with rabbits. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like I remember back in like high school, like those old Flash games. It was some weird thing where like rabbits were like attacking the world, and you're on like a roof, and you had to like murder these rabbits who are trying to come and kill you. And you all remember this like a Flash game like that? That's like the whole basis of the
I
game.
don't remember that one.
These
no.
rabbits are like trying to take over the world, so you gotta like defend yourself.
But
Now,
some
is
of
this
those.
I want to say I
old
kind of remember
school,
something like that when I was in
Newgrounds
school.
Days?
Probably.
Oh, this right. Look at this.
Flashback.
Look at this image.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Watership Down.
Just
Looks like a gopher.
no, you gotta see it. You just gotta Google it, dude. It's terrifying, especially if you're a kid.
Yeah, dude. That
Starts
movie's
eating all
pretty,
these-
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
Those
Another
Goosebumps
one.
look-
What's the
That,
one
that,
where the
that one about the rabbit, the Goosebumps rabbit, freaking freaked
Oh,
me out
yeah.
as a kid, dude.
yeah Slappy
Count,
dude was
count, it
wild.
was count. Shit, I can't think of it.
Well, last week I did get a game that I was like pretty excited about because just like any movie, if you see a preview for it and there's a lot of praise around it, you're just like, yeah, I want to check this out. And I started playing it, and it's a psychological horror game, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be, it looks really, really good. And I got a hold of a copy, and it's Observer System Reboot,
Yeah.
and I started playing it, and I literally said, fuck this game,
Why? What's wrong with
and I
it?
deleted it.
I've never
hated it.
heard anything about it.
Picked one up recently.
I
haven't
will
played it
go
either.
back because the save file's there. I will go back and give it another try.
Yeah.
But
It's a
it may not be.
detective game.
It is a
Um,
detective game,
I'm out.
and that's the thing is it's so slow because I'm still stuck in the very first building where you find you find this body that you might think it is your son, but you can't determine if it's him based on anything.
Yeah,
and you're
because you don't
going
know
around-
your own kid, right?
Well, his head's gone.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, if I found my kid, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's got the Megadeth tattoo on his bicep. Yeah, that's him. But still, and then you're going up. The thing that made me go, Jesus, will you please just get on with it? It had you go up to the doors, and it's like set in the future, like 2089 or something, and you knock out or you ring the doorbell, and there's like a video thing there, and these people come up to the door, and they're like, hello, and you see an eyeball. Like, hello, and you talk to these
God.
people. Hey, do you know about the person in apartment 7? And you sit there and you interrogate these people back and forth, and all that. Keep going door to door. It reminded me of like something from the 3DO or something from back in that day.
What's wrong with the
or Sega
3DO?
CD.
Everything.
Nothing.
No, it
Damn.
was very far back in my opinion as well.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
had that same experience. Like exactly word for word what you're saying is my reason I don't like it either. Like it was really
What was that
bad.
called when they have those games back then where it was like they had
FMV.
the live live
FMV
action.
game?
Yeah, FMV, and it like the little eyeball and the people in there.
Yeah.
It
Oh, that's
felt very
like the
FMV.
cinematic gold.
And the
Yeah, man.
the dialogue was very. It was like Rutger Hauer. He was a fantastic actor, but it felt like he was very much in a studio somewhere else, and the people he was talking
Reading
to.
line by line.
Yeah,
Listen,
it was like it was bad. It felt like a game from way
guess
back
the
30,
game.
like 25 years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
Guess the game. It's an FMV game, right? Sega
Yeah.
CD.
I'm already
Yeah.
lost.
Night
What?
Trap.
Night Trap.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna say Night Trap,
Yep.
and now
That's
it's
one
on
of the game of all
everything.
time. It's on everything now.
Yeah,
Everything. So
Yeah,
I watched a person do a port, like it didn't release or anything. It's not like an official.
They did a
release, but,
porn. They did a porn of Night Trap. Oh man.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
there actually,
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one, man. Come on. But no, they put it on the DS, which is kind of cool.
What?
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
all right.
Of course,
I can
shits
see
and
that
giggles,
working
I guess.
well with how like the menu and the interface of that game actually plays. I could see that working well.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it looks better than the Sega CD. So,
That's
But,
hilarious.
As long as it's not Call of Duty Black Ops on the.
Oh,
I like that game, man. Come on.
Hey, I was a little bit more high class than that. I had it for the Wii. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. those Wii Call of Duty games are the only
Hit or
Call
miss.
of Duty I say are
Hit or miss.
no. Every one of those I've played, I've enjoyed. Yeah. Yeah, I had Modern Warfare Reflex on there. I got them sitting over here. Reflex, Black Ops. I think that's the only two there.
I mean, Black Ops is one of only like 3 Wii games I actually own, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, bring it up. Anybody see the Dahmer show? Anybody watch that yet? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
I'm in
I've
episode
heard-
2.
I'm probably
I've
not
heard
going
it's
to.
very.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very woke.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Is it?
Yeah. To a
Yeah.
degree.
Oh, don't
More-
tell me
more
that.
so-
Come on.
More so than I think is believable for the era it was set
What?
in.
Okay, without
Right.
spoiling it, I mean, I already know the whole story, so I guess it don't
Just
matter.
watch a
but,
documentary.
I mean, I've seen 50. Listen, don't take it
What
the wrong
more
way,
is there
but I
to
like
learn?
serial
Like-
killers. I like this stuff. Like, I'm really into true crime. I love this stuff, dude. It's my bread and butter. Like, probably more than video games. I love true crime and music. Those are my things.
Jeffrey
but-
Dahmer ate humans for his bread and butter.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
That's
Hey,
like light
humans with
horror.
bread.
Me and Dahmer could have been friends. There's this movie about Dahmer where he's a kid and it stops at where he does his first killing. So like it gets from him being a kid all the way up to his first killing, and it's actually like I'm usually not as interested as in like the childhood part, but like it works. And I think it's called My Friend Dahmer. I think it's what it's called. It's on Netflix. But it's
Of course, it's
interesting.
on Netflix.
Everything's
Well,
on Netflix.
it wasn't a Netflix movie. It it's on Netflix, but it came out in like 2012 or something a while ago.
All right, I got some to because the Eep brought it up. He said Night Trap seems interesting. You have to take the time to learn the ins and outs of it, though. Not for everyone. For those of you that play,
Yeah,
it, would you
Very
agree?
true.
It's a different style of game. It's hard to actually enjoy all of the awesome cinematic gold while playing the game. Because if you're watching everything, you're missing the stuff you're supposed to be doing. It's difficult because of that.
Well,
There's
the
a-
modernized versions got really cleaned up, I guess, and
Mhm.
and I guess like the controls are far better than they were on the Sega CD. So if it's something you can actually get past, you know, and if it's something that interests you, I mean, I saw a copy of it at a local store, and I was like, and I was like, nah, it's probably not for me.
I replayed it the last time on Vita, but you know it's on Switch, PS4, PS5 now.
PS5,
This has got a
yeah.
PS5 release.
Isn't it like one of those where you really kind of have to play and die a couple times and like figure out
Yes.
what you really
Yeah.
need to do to get
Yes.
through it? Like it's not just like you're gonna play through and do it right the first time. You're really gonna
Unless you're
die
gonna,
and
like,
die and die.
Yeah,
and,
replay
like,
it a
Unless you're
couple
gonna
times.
cheat
shit,
like
I
a
should have
guy.
took a left over here. You know,
Yeah, you gotta know the timing, know when to switch back and forth between
that like
cameras, when you're
Dragon's
switching.
Lair kind of shit.
There's a
Yeah.
DVD
Oh, I hate those
release of
games.
it of just the good run of the game if you don't want to play the game.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Look at there.
Yeah. So if you want to do it that way, I mean, that seemed very uninteresting to me because like story is just like it's an 80s style, you know, game. Like it's very B level. So
Yeah.
not playing it seems
Kind of the
boring.
charm.
Yeah.
Campy, B minus for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But yeah,
So
Man,
apparently we got some more news. Final Destination 6 has been announced. They're going to
Oh,
be making a new one of those.
Yeah, I heard
Really?
that they were gonna
Why?
bring it out.
that
Yeah.
could be good. Hey,
Those,
listen,
those
you know what?
are
Those movies
comedies,
are
not
so
horrors.
bad. I love them. Yeah, they're
So-
terrible.
Who's gonna
No,
die?
the
How are they
Two-
gonna die?
The first two,
Hey.
in my opinion, were great movies.
I'm
They had a
forever
good
terrified
concept,
of logs now.
It was a different
I have the same
concept
issue.
for a movie. I thought it was amazing. The second one was really good. It carried on with that. After that, it become like that Saw Gorefest kind of shit.
Yeah,
It's like how many different
exactly.
ways can we kill somebody and make it look cool?
That's why I liked it, though. I mean, it's terrible. I know it's terrible. So I've
Yeah, but
watched.
it's been a long time though, so maybe
That's true.
maybe they'll have something new.
It's still gonna
Yeah.
be a bad movie.
I
And
assume
then
that they're gonna do like what they did with Saw with that last movie. I think it's called
Spiral.
Jigsaw.
Spiral.
Oh yeah, Spiral.
Well,
I didn't like that movie at all.
I didn't see that one yet, and they of course have announced Saw 10 for next
Did they?
year. Yes.
Really? I didn't see
And-
that.
Saw
And
Jigsaw.
space.
but,
Yes.
but let
X.
let us not forget the news that the movie news that broke the internet this week.
Oh,
Come
What's
on.
that?
I haven't heard it.
I'm not sure.
What's up?
Deadpool 3 Willy
Oh,
has,
yes,
is
yes,
returning.
yes.
With
And
Logan, yeah.
bringing old Hugh Jackman's ass back.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That's
Well,
wild.
I mean, it
Not
it
really.
happens
They're doing
before
that-
he dies, so why not?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
okay with it.
Is it, so does it? Because I thought it was something to do with everything
No.
that happened in No Way Home. Okay,
No.
I don't know.
Oh, you
No.
mentioned something about the Spiral.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say the Eep said he liked Spiral.
Yeah,
I did not like
it
Chris
only got
Rock's
like
acting.
I think it only got like a 6 or something like that on IMDb. Not that I'm, if I want to see something, I'm gonna see it anyway. But
Right.
but I wonder. I didn't even look it up. Is Danny Glover back as the character he originally played in it, or
Not
not?
sure.
I don't know.
No
I
idea.
mean, I could check it on IMDb. But
You know
Yeah,
what movie?
sure should be.
So my favorite, slasher franchise is definitely Child's Play. Did you guys watch Cult of Chucky? Anybody watch that?
No.
I remember
I
watching a
haven't
Chuck
seen-
movie with you. You were like terrified. I'm over here like in your room like laughing.
Yes.
I remember that's all I
I
remember
haven't
about Chucky.
seen past the third one. And I
Yeah,
love the
that's
Child's
what
Play.
scared me the most as a kid. I was so
Oh,
terrified
it was
of
so
Child's
funny.
Play too. Yeah, dude, I couldn't watch it as a kid. I was so scared. Like I would have nightmares. But that's what makes
That
me
was my
love
first
horror
horror
now.
movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was my first one. Was Child's Play too. I mean,
Oh,
if
man.
you want to.
I
Yeah,
think
my first horror movie.
Were we watching it? It was on TV. I can't remember now. So long.
Yeah, it was
ago.
on Sci-Fi. They used to run it on Sci-Fi all
You're like,
the
now we
time.
gotta change. I'm like, what's wrong? This is funny.
Yeah.
It's like a doll like stabbing somebody in the back.
Brandon, I have a friend for you.
But you have a buddy doll?
My
Beautiful.
buddy. My
Really
buddy.
cool.
Buddy.
Did anybody
Yeah,
watch
weird.
Buddy and me.
Hey, can we talk just for a quick second? If anybody saw it, the Child's Play remake, I need thoughts.
I passed on it.
You didn't watch
Yeah, I didn't
Nobody
see it.
just watched it?
He said,
So-
The old ones were good enough for
No.
me. I didn't want to watch it and kind of sully my memories of the old ones.
Well,
Yes.
okay, so my thing with that is that the last two actual movies that came out, Curse of Chucky is now my second favorite Child's Play movie in the entire franchise. I think it's
really?
a top. Yes, yeah, I think it's a wonderful movie.
I
it
stopped
goes
at
back-
Bride of Chucky.
It goes back to the non. It's not a cheesy. It's not cheesy.
It's not
like
ridiculous like Bride of Chucky and all that.
Right.
I never saw them, but I saw the
Bride of
commercials. And I'm
Chucky
like,
was that was kind of it. That was
Yeah,
the
that-
nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah, it's really started with 3 with that. Like they got kind of silly with it, but
And then when
it
they
was
had a
so-
kid, the seed of Chucky, I'm like, get the fuck out of
okay,
here.
that is one of my worst movies
Right.
of all time. I hate that movie with passion.
Like
I can
No.
do Bride of Chucky, but Seed of Chucky, his name's
Have any of you seen the Chucky
Glenn,
series?
right? It's Glenn. Yeah, that's
Seen which?
The
what is that,
like
Mark?
the TV series for it that it came out last
yeah. I
year.
like
no.
it. It's solid.
I've heard it's very good.
It's
I've heard
solid.
it's very, very good. And
Yeah.
the previews that I saw and stuff, it looked really good.
Who's
Wow.
streaming that one?
That was on.
I
It was
can
a
pull
different
it up.
platform. I've never
What-
watched.
it
was
pull
that
it
on?
It was on
was that
TV. It was on TV, actual.
Like Paramount?
Cable.
or
What was
something,
it?
maybe?
Yeah, it was on cable. Yeah.
Hmm.
What channel?
Like
I
AMC?
can't
I'm not
remember. Let me
sure, but the only
I'll
streaming
have to
service
look it
is
up.
Peacock, so that probably narrows it down to a single.
Mm.
Who,
See, in
Yeah.
in
whoever
my
owns-
opinion, the
it's
only
like CBS
the only
or something
I'm
yeah,
okay to
yeah.
see
I
what
think
they're
that's
gonna.
what I watched it on.
because the streaming's
What
only
they're
on
gonna-
Peacock, so I believe that's who owns them.
It was on
Figures.
USA. USA. That's
No.
what it was on.
No, Peacock is
Oh.
NBC Universal.
Okay.
It was on. It was on. Yeah, it was on USA Network, and then I guess went to Peacock apparently. But the
Shit,
new
so-
season is out, and I have not watched that yet. Episode 1 came out on comes out on the 5th. I'm sorry. So this month.
Gotcha. Gabby wants you to talk a little bit more about Leisure Suit Larry.
So,
Yeah.
It's October 1st. We're not talking about
game-
that.
I don't even know what that is.
well, I'll run over it real quick. If you're gonna play, this is the one to play. It's still a trash game. You get the concept. I mean, you're probably better off playing Playboy Mansion on PS2. Actually, don't play that game. It's so bad.
I've heard
Um,
that's bad too.
Or the
yeah.
guy-
This is one of the better games in the series. It's actually feels kind of playable, but it's still mid-tier 3D. It feels like it could have been on the PS2.
Yeah, if I'm not
Um,
mistaken, I
I
think
passed.
Metal Jesus actually has one under his pillow.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because he's always talking about, what is the another major shit, Larry? And I'm like,
I don't know,
why?
man.
But
If
you
you
know,
want
we
to
all
play
have
though, this is the one to play.
we
I
all have
played
our
2 of
guilty
the
pleasure
PC
games. Mine is Starsky and Hutch on the Xbox.
Ooh,
PS2
very
version all the
oddball.
way.
Either or is it's the only game that I know of that you can hook up a light gun and somebody else can you can play co-op and somebody's shooting while somebody else is driving. It's like kill him.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
got a good
fucking neat.
horde,
I didn't know
man.
It's
that.
stupid, but it's fun.
Monster House on PS2.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
it's
haven't played
fine.
it.
No.
It's just a generic 3D plat. It's just a movie game, so I figure I'd bring it up though, because like a animated horror movie.
That could be a
Kind
whole
of.
topic in itself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Movies
I got
turned-
one.
Movies turned games. Some of those were good back in the day. I
Yeah,
was
they
like
were.
True
This
Lies.
one's fine.
Lies
This one's
was
fine.
great.
It
Disney did a lot of that.
it plays like
Disney
the Kids Next
games.
Door game. Like he
Okay,
has
yeah,
like
that
a
was a really good one.
yeah, that was a good game. It plays like that. Anybody watch The Monsters? I watched that.
I
The
started.
new
it.
one?
Yeah.
No.
It's different. It's
It's
definitely
different.
different.
It's not a bad movie. It's just very mediocre.
Yeah, well, it's got some terrible reviews, but
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it
enjoy
like
This is
very
Rob Zombie.
campy as well? Like, isn't it campy? Like very, very like.
The Monsters is
Like,
only
he tried to
campy,
like
though.
he tried to bring it back to like the old school style, but I heard it was like a massive failure.
Well, you'd have
I
to
haven't
look
heard
at
anything
it.
super
Like, it's-
bad. Yeah.
I like the cinematography in it, as strange as that sounds, but it's shot different. Like they use kind of obscure camera angles, but I think that's him trying to quote unquote go back to the roots because
Yeah,
when
he's trying to
stuff was shot back then. It wasn't
shot on film. It was
well yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't have it staged like how we do with modern day film and whatnot. So it's
Right.
that aspect of it is neat, but it's very different.
yeah.
I gotta bring.
Yeah, it's go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, did you, as far as like some of the older games for like horror, did any of you play like was it the Clock Tower? I don't know if we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, great game series.
Yeah, I love
It's a game I never
series.
played, but the first time I heard
Don't like
it,
3
I
as
think,
much, but
I think it was John Tron who did like a video on it. I was thinking it just popped in my mind. I was like, I think that's like a horror game, but it's like one of those
Super
weird
good.
point and click type games. I think was what it was.
I love Clock Tower. Yeah, that was my first horror game I recommend is Clock Tower
I've-
2.
You mentioning point and click stuff, I'll tell you some
Yeah.
interesting ones I played through recently. They were on PC also, but they ported them to PlayStation 1. There was a series for Dracula. There's 3 of them on computer, but they only dropped 2 of them for us on a home console. But those were actually pretty good point and click adventures. You're playing as Jonathan Harker, and you're going after Dracula, and kind of mist, but it's a horror environment. Those were pretty cool games. Underrated, and they're still very cheap, surprisingly.
For those of you who have actually played a 2600, the Eep is asking, how come no one talks about horror games on the 2600?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, best
It had
game
a
on the
couple of-
system.
yeah, we did Halloween on it.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
Blast, essentially.
The game that is considered the origin, funny enough, it is considered the origin of survival horror.
Sweet home.
It's a haunted house on the 2600.
I don't like that
shit.
game at all.
Yeah. Well, I think that was also one of the Magnavox Odyssey.
It was,
if I'm not
yes.
mistaken.
That's where I played
Haunted
it
House?
first when I got that.
No,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me
No.
look it up.
Maybe it was called something else. But yeah, I remember,
that's an Atari property. I
Is
don't
it?
see them hoarding. Yeah, I don't see them
maybe
hoarding
it was
themselves.
called.
Well, they put games. I mean, they put games out on other systems.
Yeah,
so-
I clearly remember an Odyssey title where the static
look it
clean
up.
you put on your TV screen. It was like it looked like a haunted house. Maybe it wasn't called haunted house.
Yeah, it's called the Haunting of 72. So that's the game. I played that
There
as
you
well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's the one I was
Okay,
trying
I
to talk
can-
to somebody about the other day, actually.
Yeah.
That had that static cling overlay for your TV.
Yeah.
You would put it on there, and it had little bleeps behind it, and it would like light up a little ghost in the window or some shit.
Yeah, it took like the Vectrex concept. It was cool.
There she is, right
Mhm.
there.
Nice.
I just want to say
That
the
wood
Eep,
grain finish, though.
2600.
Ah, the wood grain. I
No.
want to have a wood grain coffin.
I just want to mention real quick, the Eeps is a haunted house is what he wanted to hear you say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is it literally is considered the origin of survival horror. And,
I don't know. Go ahead. I was
well,
going to ask
I'll-
if you had Texas Chainsaw. I'm curious.
I
I
don't
want a
have it.
physical of that.
I actually had a copy of. Was it that one? No, it wasn't Halloween. It was Texas Chainsaw a long time ago.
Yeah,
And yeah, I
it's
think
expensive now.
Yeah, when I bought it, it was around $75. I think I sold it for around 80, and that was 20 years ago.
What's it
It's
going for now? I know it's stupid price.
Around 250 or 300.
Oh,
I think.
jeez.
Dang.
You're wild, man. I can get 70 multi-carts for that to have the game on it.
Yeah,
Crazy.
There was
it's
some
dumb, and the
$26
Halloween game's even
game.
worse.
The Atari game for Atari games, I just can't justify. It's complete in box and sealed for a collector. I get it, but I have such a hard time justifying the price.
It's a tough one.
They're dated.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
just.
I'm not gonna lie. I just spent the most money I've ever spent on a video game for my collection, and I dropped $800 on the stack up for original Nintendo. So, like, I mean, you can justify a price one way or the other, but if you fucking want it, you're gonna pay that price for it.
Yeah,
So,
right. That's just how
I mean,
it
now,
goes.
granted, I didn't come out of pocket or anything like that. I sold some shit from the collection to pay for it, but at the same time, it's like
But
if you
you have
want
a-
something like that, you're gonna get
It
it.
was something you
You
wanted.
have a collecting
And it-
goal. Like, there's games I do not want on the Vita, but that's one of two systems I want to do a full set for, just because
Right.
the system means something to me. So, and I get
I
it
want
with
a full
NES.
set.
I just can't with having two EverDrives for it, and I get it. I've talked about it before, prices and stuff. I
Oh, yeah.
understand it,
They're
but for
wild.
me, it
I mean,
just
as
doesn't
somebody
make
who really
sense
wants
right
to
now.
play it though, like if you just want to play it and you don't really give a shit about that collecting aspect of it,
It's a lot of
by all
ways.
means, man, find you a damn downloaded copy and get jamming on that shit, because
Yeah, right.
like you can play it on anything.
Yeah,
Well, that's like-
we've talked about that a lot, but yeah, it's just everybody's different. Everybody
Well,
collects.
that's like the PS2. There's a few games that are really crazy, stupid, expensive that I'm never going to buy that I would like to
Roll the
get.
Rose.
I just want to play. No,
Haunting Ground.
I've heard that's actually not very good. The rules.
Oh, look, he's gonna pull Q on and everything out.
Motherfucker right here, look at him.
Look, pulls out all three
They're
games. I
great
say.
games. They're great.
Yeah,
You're wild, bro.
that
You're
one that was
wild.
that Kudo, was it called Kudo?
Kuon.
Kuon.
Yeah, Kuon, that's it. I saw someone, I think it was in the Game Junction lounge.
Yeah, somebody posted.
Somebody
about
got that whole stack for $20, and that was in there, and I was like, holy shit.
That's
but-
Hey,
wild.
deals are still out there, man. You just got to go find them.
Yeah, you gotta really hunt though. It takes time, man. Because I do it when I can. It's just.
Yep.
I was just thrilled to death to get a copy of Shadows of the Damned complete. I was like, oh, cool, I got it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a rare one nowadays.
Well, the funny thing was, I ended up getting the disc first. I was like, ah, shit, I just want to play it. And then I bought a printed reproduction copy of the sleeve.
Yeah.
And then of the art, and then it was like maybe a month later, somebody had just the case and the art and the manual all by themselves, and I was like, all right, I gotta do
No
this.
shit.
And I got it all put. I was like, all right. And I'm one of those guys that if I see something that's just like, these things need to be together. They can't be out there separated in the wild.
Save it. Rescue it.
Yeah, it's a rescue. It's kind of like these people who go, I rescued this poor dog, and and she was being abused by her master, and now she's mad. Oh, good, that's great. I'm glad you did that. Good for you. Good for that dog. I do that with video games.
Exactly. Yeah.
Would you
I've
say?
actually got a that copy. What was it? Jesus, I think Paperboy 2. One of our guys in our group, one of our vendors that come out, Landon, he did that same thing. He likes taking single pieces and finding the cart, finding the box, finding the manual, finding the little styrofoam, the sleeve, and then putting it all together.
Yeah.
And I bought it from him. He's like, I finally put this together, and now I'm trying to sell it. I'm like, well, fuck, I'll give you the money for it, because that's cool.
And there's two things cool
hard
about
work.
that. Number one, you're preserving something that is it's a finite. Well, I hate to use the word resource, but it's a finite resource. It's something.
It is.
It's something that we're if you don't keep this stuff together and keep it complete, and
Mhm.
that's fine. But the other thing is, damn it, if you can make some money off of it. I'm not saying gouge the shit out of people, but if you can make some money off of it, put it together. Somebody will definitely say, hey, I am looking for that complete.
Mhm.
I really, really want that, and I'm, and just like, okay, well, I'm sure that, to
For sure.
an understanding on a price. So
I always tell everybody, use the hobby to fund the hobby. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Well,
like,
how
that's what
pay for
I
my
do.
stack
Makes sense.
up.
Yeah, that's what I always
That's the way
do.
to
I
do
mean,
it.
I buy games, fund for stuff that I want to get. Do trade. I do, let's say in 2020, I can't even tell you. I must have done over 100 trades. Like there were weeks where I was doing like
Killer.
6 trades. So, and that's how I got a lot of stuff I wanted. Vita, I think I probably got 75% of that from trades. Like you just
I've
can't
got
find
some
it here.
pretty cool shit. Speaking of trades, I like to do mystery
Yeah.
trades with people. So like,
Ooh,
I'll
never
send
done
them
that.
something that I have that I wanted, and I'm like, hey, send me a package of something that I don't know what's in there, but equal value, whatever. So I've got actually like 3 boxes now that I haven't opened yet. I started to open this one, but I was like, oh shit, it's a mystery
Open it
box.
on
So I
here.
closed it back.
You have
Right?
to tell the
Yeah, bust
audience
that
what you
shit
got,
open,
but
bro.
yeah, for sure.
Put your ear up to it. Is it ticking?
Yeah, not yet, because
Oh, yeah.
I've been sitting on them for about 3 weeks. So if they were gonna
Hey.
blow, they should have blown a long time ago.
3 weeks.
And I
You
got-
can't say that word
I
in
got, like,
2022.
Like a kid on Christmas
about
Day
a-
when I get mail
I think
like
this
that.
box
I'm
over here's got
pressing
about
the
$160 worth in it. So I haven't opened them yet, but yeah, we could do one right quick if you wanna do one.
Yeah,
right
Yeah,
quick.
that's-
man.
Not just
Absolutely.
Let's do the
unopened
one that I have
3
open.
weeks.
I don't. Oh, okay. I remember what I traded for this one. This was a Game Boy Advance SP that was kind of had a beat up shell on it, and I think maybe a game or two. I told him I was like, yeah, just send me something of equal value, in that range. So we'll see what this guy sent.
Bet you're gonna have a
Okay.
Barbie game in there.
No, don't
Yeah,
take it out of the box yet. Well, I'm gonna guess. It's
Okay.
it's a Steel Battalion, full size. Go.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I think you're off there by about. I don't
No,
know.
that's Time Lord science. It's
No,
bigger
it's not.
on the inside.
That Mary Kate and Ashley horse adventure.
Yeah, I was gonna see some.
That is
Some
Barbie
mi-
horse
No,
adventures.
something of
I actually
equal,
have that game.
Is this some,
something
I
of
do
equal
too.
value.
are you a
Um,
brony? Is this some My Little
I
Pony
have it for
stuff?
the DS.
Dude,
So
It's
about-
paper.
Just paper.
We all lost.
No.
Can
Got
you
ripped
give us a
off,
hint?
bro.
Is it just a game?
Ooh.
No, so I don't. This is actually a box with some other stuff. We got
Okay.
a little Mega Man versus Guts Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
cool.
Pixel Pals.
Oh, that's
yeah.
dope.
Little Pixel Pal figures here.
I'm,
My
I'm,
wife's
I'm going.
beaming
I'm
off of it.
collecting Mega Man now
These are
again.
kind of cool. Let's see what else we got
Set up
here.
a trade.
Oh, we got some Xbox lanyard and what the hell is that? PlayStation Move lanyards. Hey, we were talking about PlayStation
Hey,
Move
look at
controllers
that.
earlier.
That's cool.
The devil.
That's a little serendipity right there.
Not a fan of the move.
I love the move.
Oh wow, I think that's all he put in here.
Of course you
Ouch.
said that.
I like it for a couple
Ouch.
games.
No,
I'm
it's
a
that
little
it?
hurt on
What
that
did
one.
you
That
trade?
was it, bro.
What did you
That
trade?
was a Game Boy Advance SP 101.
Ooh,
That's all he put in the box. That's it.
Ouch.
Oh,
I'll have to
man.
hit up this homeboy and have a little chat with him later.
Yeah, that's terrible,
God
dude.
damn.
Watch that Pixel Pals is going for like $90 in an exclusive
Yeah,
release.
look it up. Look it up.
Yeah, I was
Maybe.
looking up before you messaged him, but yeah, it seems off. I
Yeah,
did want to.
mean,
Go ahead.
it almost looks like there was no KY with that trade. So
No.
Mm.
I
yeah.
need to get my
Went
lipstick
in
on
raw.
the next box.
Went in raw on you. I wanted to bring up. I just grabbed a
Yeesh.
couple. I know you brought up the Fear games earlier.
Mhm.
That series I really recommend playing. Fear Files. That's my favorite in the series.
That's the only one that there's
we
3
got it.
official and there's two offshoots that they don't consider canon anymore. I guess whatever. I have 1 and 3. Fear Files, I believe, is the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that one's.
Can't tell
I just got it this year. Finally, I've been looking for it again.
Yeah,
But,
isn't Files the second one?
No,
Is that one of the
I
offshoot
think it's-
ones?
yeah, it's like a spin-off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only on the 360, but yeah, it took me a while to get because for some reason this one's pricier. I think probably because it was just on the 360. I got it for $10, so.
Yeah, I've got 1 and 3. I want to get just the main 3, and then what the hell? I mean, if I like them, but I'm really digging the first one. But I'll tell you guys what, I got so pissed off because when you first see that chick, the scary girl, and she's coming at you, and you're just like, oh crap, and I'm like, well, maybe I can go around her. And I kept dying. I'm like, what the f*** is going on? And I looked around for like an hour trying to find. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? I'm like, all right, I hate to give up. And my wife's like, you want me to look it up for you? I go. She looks it up. She can't find anything, and I'm like, so while she was trying to find something, and then I got to that point again. I'm like, well, here we go, and here's the chick. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, I turn around and I see that I can back up. So I keep backing up, and then that's how you get away from her. I was like, are you shitting me?
Mhm.
I was like, I didn't know you could back up because I just leapt off of something. So
Right.
it's like if I. So
all that
anyway,
all
but
that
yeah.
frustration for a simple.
Yeah, all that and then
Yeah.
now that's what I'm finding in the game is like, in order to get to the next level of something, there's a lot of places where you off of. At
Yeah.
least have a little prompt that comes up that goes, "This is the place, stupid. Jump here." You know.
Year 1 is probably the roughest of the series, I would say. It's been a while since I played, but like I said, played through Fear Files. That's been my favorite. I still got to grab 1 and 2 again. I played them back in the day. But I did want to just grab a couple random ones. I wanted to say one to avoid, because we were talking about it earlier. We are like, you know,
Yeah.
Silent Hill can be kind of rough to go back to. Avoid playing this for 2 and 3. These games, I
heard
don't
they
know
would do
what
something like
happened.
that.
It is rough. It is rough. This year was my first experience with it. Like, I grabbed it, and it's like the only cheap Silent Hill you can get, and it's for a
This
reason.
is true. Yeah.
They're bad. They're just super rough. I don't know what went wrong with it. I think they didn't care. I don't know if there's like a behind the scenes thing, but frame rate is terrible. Just everything about it is really bad. I was like super disappointed because I was like, I have a modded PS2 with 2 and 3 on it. But I was like, this seems like an easier way to play. Like, I gotta hook up my PS2 every time,
I
but
just didn't.
Is it hard modded?
mine, it's got the free McBoot, so
Okay.
no, yeah. I actually won that in a
That's right.
waffle. I've done one waffle and I won, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because
See, I just
play,
want to
man.
play my damn Knight Rider game. All I want to do.
I have that on there, but the problem with that, I can only fit like 200 games, and that's the biggest library. So it's a problem. Even if you did like the, I can't
Well, there's that
remember
one
what.
soft mod thing that you can get for, I don't know, it's like, and it goes on a memory card. I've just got to order it, and I'll be able to play it then. And I've heard that the second Knight Rider
PS2?
game is,
Yeah. That's the remake boot.
yeah, and I heard the second Knight Rider game is far better than the first one, and I still have to order it from England.
I haven't played the
but-
second one, but I have the first
but
one
I've
on
heard
there.
they're both not very good. Anyway,
It's not
so.
very good. No, it's
Still gotta play
it's-
it though.
Yeah, you gotta play it, man. If you want to play it.
Well,
I was
what
gonna
it-
bring up a.
Still gotta
Go
play
ahead.
it.
Yeah, what's the other one?
I was going to bring up a good like new gen series that's kind of in that vein that I've enjoyed. Evil Within.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the second one right now. I used to have it. I think it's a better game, but these are good games. I mean, they're solid games. I don't hear anything terrible about them. They're Bethesda games, so
I like the first. I haven't played the second though. I thought
And
the
you
first
can get them. They're both on Game
They're
Pass
cheap.
too. So
and they're
Nice.
they're very cheap as well. So.
I just wanted to bring it up. The Eep was saying the reason to have that jank collection is for the extra content for Silent Hill 2.
That's the only reason to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
this
it-
game
is-
is.
Was it extra content specifically for that, or was that the
Yes.
extra content that was found on like Restless Dreams on Xbox?
Well, I don't know.
Because I think the PC version of Silent Hill 3 also had extra content that wasn't on the console version. Because I wondered that, like, is that quote unquote new content, new for that
Manual, let's check the
PS3
manual.
HD, or was that just the extra content from back in the day that wasn't on the vanilla day one launch, so to say?
Not sure. I know the Eep was saying at least
Silent
the PS3
Hill did
version.
more about that shit.
No, I was gonna say at least the PS3 version had a patch for it.
Oh.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah, that's what he's
Because I
saying.
put it in.
Makes
Well,
it a little
maybe I
bit better.
did install a patch, but I didn't make it better for me. I know my PS3 would have automatically done that.
Well, it's only probably a little bit better. I mean, it's gonna be a great game.
Man,
Just
I
get a
don't even want to know what it
screwdriver.
was just straight on the disc thing, because that game that's rough, dude. Like, when I say rough, like, you have a much easier time playing the original games than that.
see, it's going to be
Bad.
rough for the next 2-3 weeks. I forget when it's. Let me look on the calendar here real quick. But my top 10 horror video is coming out the week before the 28th. So what's that? The 21st.
Nice.
So it's going to be rough for me to sit here and go, okay, I don't want to give away what's all on the list. I mean, you already know one that's going to be on the list for sure. And then I've already announced what's going to be, what's going to be for the actual Halloween video to you guys. So not to anybody else, but I think we'll have a little bit of fun with the. Let's just say that if you want a good laugh and you just want me to see, if you want to see somebody beating up on a mosque, just tune in. Yeah.
The
Need
Go
any
ahead,
more
Shane.
consideration? There's a couple of really good horror games for Xbox. They're not 360, but you said you're kind of doing your cutoff at like the 360 generation, right?
Yeah. What do you got?
We've got Cursed, then you have Call of Cthulhu.
Oh,
a
yeah,
good one.
Call of Cthulhu is really good.
Because yeah,
That's a
Call,
damn good
they,
one.
yeah, they kind of like redid it, but it's really not the same game. So check that one out. Yeah, psychological, like, yeah, pretty neat.
I mean, I'll-
Insanity meter. Yeah, you start
That
seeing
game-
weird stuff.
Dude, I
I mean,
had
I'll
so much
definitely
fun
play
with
them
that
for
game, sure.
for myself, or maybe even check them out
Oh,
for
definitely.
maybe a. If let's put it like this, for another video later on, if something that is that fantastic, I will definitely go, yeah, and I'll make a video for it. But if it's just kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Manhunt, I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the thing, but then I was just like, no, F the thing.
The
I mean,
best
I
horror.
love
the
that
thing.
movie. It's my favorite horror
That's
movie.
a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the game is just like, oh my god.
It's rough. And you know what was cool about that game though is it was trying to give additional story. So
Yes.
that
That's
was the cool aspect about it. Like it was actual. I think they said it was like a canon game, right? So the
It was
Yeah.
because you actually come to find out in that game at the very beginning that, well, I think you actually find Child's dead.
yeah.
So then that would allude to the fact that McCready would be the thing. Now, I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that, and here's why. It's possible that neither one of them could have been the thing. It's also possible that both of them could have been the thing, or one or the other. Because just because that, Wilford Brimley, he was the last one,
Well, it's a
that they ended up killing.
It's a damn spore, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like one particular person is the thing. The thing is the fucking spore that can literally infect other things.
It has
Like-
well, it's an alien and one
Yeah, it's
cell
like an
of
alien.
it. It's one
Yeah.
cell. So every single cell of it can actually branch off and be another part of the thing. It's not like it's airborne.
Did you know
So-
that the John Carpenter's The Thing is like the third remake of whatever that I forget what
It's
the original.
it's the second.
Yeah.
Are you sure
it's
it's
the
the second? Because I thought it was the third.
No,
I thought I read that
Well,
somewhere.
it's the only remake because the first one is just called The Thing from Another World
Thing.
or whatever.
Thing from
Yeah,
outer
and
space.
Yeah, and I have it here. I've never actually watched it. The one with Desi Arnaz in, not Desi.
Because I thought I read somewhere that was originally like a silent film, and then The Thing from Outer Space was like a remake of that.
I don't think so because Who Goes There was written. It was written after the silent era. I
Was
believe.
it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong,
And then of course you have the prequel, which is called The Thing, and I think it was Mark a couple weeks ago that said that they should have called it, they should have called it The Thing from Another World. In which I was like, yeah, they should have.
Right.
But it's like,
Yeah.
no, let's just confuse the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's bad about that film, the only thing is, and there's documentaries on this, they rushed the special effects and the CGI is terrible.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff you're
Now,
like, oh,
that's
Jesus.
back when that shit was really kind of coming to fruition, though.
It works
Yes.
for me though. Even
that was
as
like
a
the
rewatch, I have
very,
it
very
on
beginnings
4K
of like
Blu-ray of it.
CGI there.
Anybody who's a fan can sit there and watch it and forget
Yeah,
it. It's not going to take you out of the film and go, oh, screw this movie, and turn it off.
Right.
So they did their due diligence on what happened at the Norwegian camp. It's a fantastic film, and I really wish that they would make a sequel with Kurt Russell
Yeah.
because Kurt Russell is and what was the gal's name that was in that one? Her name was I can't remember her name right now, but anyway, the girl from that movie, she was real good, and I wish that they would make a sequel that had the both of them in it, and
Well-
and what the hell, Child's too, because
Why haven't we gotten a a game or a sequel to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Come on.
Actually, there's one coming out.
Doing a game.
There's one.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah,
What?
Yep, a game is coming out.
It
No.
looks pretty sharp.
Yep.
Yeah, check it
No,
out.
quit it. You guys are
I
I
messing
think,
with
I
me.
think it's like
No,
a
no,
multiplayer
no.
online kind of Dead by Daylight thing, right?
Yep.
What?
Mhm.
How did I miss
Yeah, it
this?
looks
I
sharp.
love
I-
that movie.
A
Oh,
friend of
God,
mine
great
just told me
movie.
about it. I
Great
never
movie.
looked it up, so I dropped the ball on that myself. But
Looking
I
up
just
now.
I just heard
One of
about
my favorite cheesy movies.
I
of that era.
love that movie. I have oh god, what's his name? The main clown. I have a mask put away in a box there that I got from like a reproduction
Nice.
company. I love that movie. I
I'm
think
gonna
I've
tell you-
bought that at every format that's been out on.
I'm going to tell you a couple really good horror movies. Now, one you've probably heard of, one you've not. One's more of a thriller than a horror movie. Have you heard the one? I'll tell you the other one in a minute. It Follows. Have you seen It Follows?
Yes, I love
Yes.
that movie.
An interesting movie.
Absolutely fantastic
Yeah.
film. I thought.
Love that
And
movie.
then the
Yeah,
other
I
one is a
did.
Netflix original. We watched it about 3 or 4 years ago. It's called Hush.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
a pretty good one.
I've
too.
seen that
Holy
too.
smokes! That
I
movie
think I
is.
watched that one.
If I could buy that on Blu-ray, I'd buy it right. That movie is.
It's on.
fantastic.
It's on Blu-ray.
Is it?
Arrow or
Yeah,
Arrow
Hush,
or something
yeah.
like that probably does it.
Netflix puts all those out on physical. For sure.
I tried finding a
Eventually.
copy a couple years ago.
I'll
Maybe,
look it
maybe it was
up.
recent. Okay.
Yeah, but those are good ones. Those are good suggestions for sure. Hush is a good one. People don't talk about that a lot. I remember when that dropped, though. I was like pretty surprised that Netflix put that out. That was a cool one.
The wasn't The Ritual? Wasn't that a Netflix original? That was a
I
I
think I was
remember
on
watching
Hulu.
that,
Was
but
that on
I
Hulu?
don't know if it was Netflix original.
It could have been. I'll have to look it up. That's a
No,
good one too.
You say Netflix original? They put a lot of Netflix original on stuff. They had nothing involvement other
It's
than
not.
they
Yeah, I hate
That's
that when it's
true.
like something they bought or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it was.
It's
It
not
was
an original.
Netflix.
No. This is not a Netflix original. This is a Netflix adopted child.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
there
what do
you
you want them to do though? They're a company. I think I would probably do the same thing. I wouldn't like buy
That's
it and
just
not
how-
put my name on it.
No. Saying produced by Netflix is one thing. Saying it's
Yeah.
an
It doesn't
original.
say
you didn't-
Netflix original. It just says Netflix. That's it. I don't see anything where it says Netflix original.
I just
Says
complain
Netflix.
about some things they do.
Mark's
So
just
Well, some things they do.
currently in use
Mark's just
by-
wilding, dude.
I'm not
He's-
wilding. They've
Yeah.
done that before.
Currently licensed
they
by
have-
Netflix.
They do it every week, probably. I see it all the time, but yeah.
No, I would brought it up. The Eep was saying It Follows was completely not what he what they expected. This is a
Yeah.
good thing, and I really liked. Or I really did like
Yeah,
it.
I bought that
It
on
was an
Blu-ray. My
original.
wife and I were just stunned by it. I was like, okay, this was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't do physical movies. Like I said, I think I said the last podcast. I sold all my movies off at the beginning of the year.
I
like
used to do a lot more
1,700
movies.
movies. Yeah, I mean, I bought them all the time. Anything I liked, I bought. I was buying like the B-level movies from like Scream Factory and buying all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all those.
Oh, those
A lot of
Walmart
those
$5
slash-
bins they have some gold in there for some good horror movies.
Well, like it's almost every week these like Slumber Party Massacre, like stuff like that. I really like those cheesy, but that's a good one people don't talk about though. I love that movie.
Yes, Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a second
of
one
those,
to
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Camp Sleepaway.
Yes, that's a good one too. Yeah. Yeah, nobody talks. Well, I guess like
Oh,
the horror
man.
community does, but
Yeah, old school horror. That's me, man. I love
yeah,
that
me
shit.
too. Me too. And I even love. I mean, I'm super into like the monster movies, and
Oh, yeah,
I love all those. Super
It's the
into those.
practical effects that did it for me.
Yeah,
Like, even
man.
as a
Right.
kid, I was really attracted to that stuff. Just seeing, like, wow, I know that's not real, but it looks so real.
That's
It
what
looks so
bothers
good.
me with horror is jumping into the CGI era. It was
Yeah, it's a
it was rough.
detractor.
like The
It's-
Ring. Like that's a good movie, but the CGI, especially
did
if you
that one
watch on
right.
like 4K, the CGI man just doesn't hold up the
No.
same as practical effects. Just doesn't.
And
Yeah,
just,
like the thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. The practical effects in that they hold up. They
Mm.
hold up today, and that movie is
100%.
40 years old this year.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's I love
41.
that. I love.
You want to
that
talk about a really
movie
good one though? How about The Guyver? How about the practical effects in that shit?
The
Oh
Guyver?
yeah, Guyver.
think
I think I've
Guyver.
seen that one.
Biometal Guyver. Yeah, dude, that shit's badass.
Where he got that
Well,
little
is that
thing
the,
in his
like,
head,
the
and then he turned
suit?
into an alien.
Where he has
becomes
a
like
suit,
space suit.
right?
Yeah, he kind of
Shit
turns
It's like
comes
a
out of his,
Kamen
like-
Rider-esque thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Power
Yeah.
Rangers and-
Some of those
that was
bad
awesome.
Holy
The guy's like a
crap.
those
Sentai, Super
costumes, bro.
Sentai type
Oh my
thing.
god, it's so good
That
though.
shit was rad.
They made
That
like
was-
4 or 5 of those
dude.
movies too.
Did
Look
you guys see
at
the?
Scott's face. Look at Scott's face right now. It's fucking hilarious.
He's
guy?
He's just
What
having
guy's
a piece of
face?
that
I
for
just
the
see his
first time.
face.
I don't see
There
a
is
face.
there is something new in horror that has been rebooted. It is
What's
on
that?
AMC, and it is Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire.
No
Oh, yeah,
shit.
my wife just
Shit.
messaged
Really?
me about that. Like
I
an
just
hour
now
ago.
saw it on
Yeah,
IMDb, and
brand new
Damn.
I love the books.
I
I
love
love
that
the
movie.
first. I love
That
the
was
I love the books. I love the first movie. The second one blew, but
I
the
never
books are
watched the second
fantastic.
one.
No,
No,
there
yeah.
was a second.
Yeah,
God will
I
not
didn't
give you-
either.
God will not give you your time back because, all right, I'm going to tell you this real fast. They took elements from the second book and elements from the third book, and they mashed them together, and they took a bunch of shit that didn't make sense and just screwed the film up. And then there were some effects in there that just really take you out of the film. It's one of those things that if you're a fan of the books and a fan of the first movie, you can forgive occasionally and watch it, even though it has so much cheese in it. You'd be going, are we in a Mexican restaurant? So, yeah.
They
Um,
did
but
The
yeah.
best horror movie though is Twilight, easily, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Best,
I'd rather
best
watch that
vampire
than Twilight.
movie ever.
It's
No,
definitely
the be-
scary.
Twilight.
It's so scary, dude. It's like
It's a
werewolves.
horror
and,
movie
like,
to me, but not
The
because
best
of werewolves and
Dracula
vampires.
movie, because there's been tons and tons of Dracula movies.
Oh,
the
tons.
very best Dracula movie of all time, in my opinion, and
Not Bram Stoker's.
yes, Bram Stoker's.
No.
But
No.
it is the one that the Angry Video Game Nerd on Cinemassacre, he actually went through and meticulously watch this video. Anybody watching, watch this video. He tried to get one that went closest to the book, and just closest to the book. Well, Bram
Yeah.
Stoker's actually came in number 2. The thing that I really liked about Bram Stoker's is it wasn't just, a vampire movie. It wasn't just a Dracula movie. It was a love story.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I
I
thought
like
was
it.
very, very intriguing.
That's kind of what Dracula is, though. He
It
is
is,
that
kind of.
quintessential, like, romantic fucking guy, like.
yes.
And a lot of people don't portray him that way, which that's exactly what, to me,
And-
the
and
origin of
Hotel
Dracula is
Transylvania
that love
does.
story.
And if you want to watch a good Frankenstein film, don't watch the the Boris
Frankenhooker.
Karloff from back in the day.
Yeah,
Don't watch that
Boris
shit.
Karloff, Yeah.
Okay,
Eh.
watch. I kid you not. Watch the one with Robert De Niro, Frankenstein. Mary
Yeah,
Shelley's
that's a good one.
Frankenstein.
Yep, Mary Shelley.
It is. I've read the book a couple of times. It's a very short book, and it follows the book meticulously.
What about I Frankenstein, guys? Where's
I
the
didn't-
love
I
for
didn't
that?
watch that one.
Take a seat.
Terrible.
It was pretty good too. Not out there.
I do have a small problem with this. Let me see who's playing Lestat though, because if they're picking somebody else to be, if they're race swapping Louis, I'm okay with that. But they can't race swap Lestat. So let me see.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The Interview with the
What was-
Vampire.
Oh, the new.
What was the-
Okay, gotcha.
What was the vampire movie that had the guy from Lethal Weapon in it? Oh my god.
Which guy from Lethal Weapon?
Vampire movie. I don't remember.
Not
nothing's
Lethal
coming to
Weapon.
mind.
Jesus Christ. I'm so bad about this. I
We
think of
do
something,
this.
I think about it, I
We do
can't
this.
think of the name of it. Leslie
How
Nielsen.
old
It had
is-
Leslie Nielsen in it.
Oh, you're
Oh.
talking about Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Dead and Loving It. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dead and Loving It.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
was one of my favorite vampire
That was
movies.
a great movie. Too.
this guy.
You guys
his
are
name is-
crazy if you don't think Lost Boys is the best vampire movie. That's all I'm
the
saying.
the
Not
race
the
swap.
best,
I
a
don't
good
tell
one
you.
though.
The
That's my
race
favorite
swap.
vampire movie for sure.
The race swapped character is Louis, and I'm okay with that. Just because.
Okay.
Throwaway
because
character.
well, no, because he was actually born in America, that sort of thing. Whereas,
Oh, you're getting deep into it. Okay, I got you.
whereas
Yes, he is.
Lestat was actually from Europe, and he was from the aristocracy and that sort of a thing, and they didn't have African slaves and things like that at that time. So it would just be taking me out of the actual realism of the thing. But since Louis would have been, in America, that's fine. So I'm okay with it. As long as it makes sense, that I'm fine with it. And and it looks. I mean, just the poster that I see here, it looks really good. So
I'm looking it up now.
I cannot wait to check it out. You know,
Nice.
I gotta.
but if I smell woke in it, I'm out. Sorry.
I mean, what isn't woke?
oh, there's
like
plenty
everywhere.
of shit that's not
What
woke.
is it woke? I mean,
You know, but
crap.
I mean, you know,
Let me
look
be
at
real
Maverick.
with you. Let me be real with you. This looks like some of the wokest stuff I've ever seen in my life, so I'm not watching this. I want nothing to do with this. That
Don't judge a
fonts-
movie by its window poster.
It just looks like a
Yeah.
bad poster.
Agreed.
You know,
That's
a
what I'm
movie,
saying. It looks so cheap.
a good movie.
This
that's
isn't
not
this isn't
woke-
Little Mermaid, okay? This is something completely different.
Nah.
Well, that's different. I don't know.
If you want to watch a good horror movie that's not woke, it's Shaun of the Dead, obviously.
Ooh,
Best
Shaun
horror
of the
movie.
Dead
Yeah.
is still up there and like one of the
Hot
best. like-
take. I don't like Shaun of the Dead.
I
Well,
think
All right,
Not
you're,
until
you're,
like the-
you're dead to me. I'm gonna ignore you
Yeah,
now.
I'm sorry. I don't like
to me
Shaun of
one
the
of the
Dead.
best
Kick him out.
vampire
Kick him out of the
movies.
Discord. Hold on. Let me kick
All
him
right.
out.
I'm just
One
not
of
a
the
fan
abs-
of the horror comedy much. It's got to be like the cheese. Just not my thing.
One of the absolute best vampire movies to me, and I will actually put it above like Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was a good film, but was it the best vampire movie? No. I think what is that?
Lost Boys.
No, 30 Days of Night.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good
that
one.
was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good
That's
one.
a good one.
Oh yeah.
I've got two. To
38
challenge.
weeks later.
So you've got an older one called Near Dark.
Okay,
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
Very
I'll
interesting
write that
one.
down.
pretty cool.
Come on, y'all. Once Bitten. That was a great vampire.
I've
That is a
never
good movie.
seen
But
that.
hey, what
That's a
about?
good-
Hold on. What's the movie where the kid's a vampire? God, what's that called?
Oh,
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's like he's being like babysitted in the movie, and that.
It's gonna kill me. I gotta
He's
Google
like-
it.
Yeah, what's that called? It's obviously a comedy, but it's like a
kind of ringing a bell.
yeah. Hold on.
Once Bitten, Jim Carrey.
The
That's
little-
a good movie though.
is
I
it-
like it, but
Is it the little
Yeah,
vampire?
I've seen once.
yeah, the little vampire. Yeah.
I think I've heard of that. I've
Oh,
done
Oh,
that.
you hold on. It's got
It's got that one kid.
yeah, he's in everything. Like he's in everything from that era.
Fred
Hold on.
Savage,
That's Fred Savage.
Oh, Jonathan Limpnicki.
Taylor Thomas.
This guy.
Oh,
I just told
I don't
you.
know if I remember that one.
Well, I was showing
I
him.
was
Say,
looking that
you
way.
don't remember that? Oh, that's came
Yeah,
out
if I
in
do.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, only 22 years ago.
What was the
Check
what was
it
the
out.
vampire movie? I say recently, but it's been probably 10 years now. But they actually like had a cure to where they were turning people from vampires back to
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers. That was it. I thought
I never
that was a
watched
really
that.
good vampire movie. That was a different concept for a
Oh.
vampire movie.
Yeah,
as well.
because all the humans were on the run and all the vampires had pretty
Right.
much taken over and they were running out of blood. And then they finally
Yep.
found a cure for vampirism. As a matter of fact, I don't own the movie, but I just got it from the library this week. My wife got it for me. And the funny thing was I went to watch it and couldn't because it was cracked. I was like, son of a bitch. So, because it's, it was before October. So now in October, everything's going to be streaming on everything.
Oh, yeah.
And so.
That's a good
but-
one. That's a good
It's
vampire
a good
movie.
one.
Lock them up. and take
Have
'em
any of
away from
you
'em.
seen Let the Right One In at all?
The
Yes,
what?
that's
Let
an
the Right One In?
excellent movie. It's not in English, but that's a really
I
good
think it's
movie.
foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought it up.
So,
Said it
I
was
think
decent
they
vamp
came
movie.
out with an English one of it.
yeah, they did,
Yeah,
but I didn't like
It's
it.
not the
I
original.
The original
disregard
was
that.
much better.
Yeah.
I think there was another
What,
foreign movie horror. It was like some troll movie that came out a few
There's
years
a
ago.
movie called Troll.
I think that's what it was. I think it was like a German movie. It's definitely one of those
The
foreign.
movie
No,
Troll came
Troll's
out in
not
like the
German.
90s. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of a
Troll
different
and
movie.
Troll 2, worst movies of all time.
I don't know if
Troll 2 is not a bad movie. I would defend this till the end of time. Listen, AVGN likes that movie. And he likes it for a reason.
I can't
You
remember
can
what
like
it was.
it.
good.
You can like a
Follow
bad movie.
you.
There's nothing.
No,
wrong with
it
liking a
was
bad
it was Troll Hunter that came
Mario
out in
Brothers.
2010.
I've never seen that. Troll 2, top tier.
Different series.
So hold on.
Leprechaun.
So
Leprechaun series.
yes, I like
Yeah.
Leprechaun, man. I don't
Yeah,
care.
they're-
I don't care what nobody says.
Leprechaun in the Hood. That shit was
That
fire too.
Leprechaun in the Hood 2.
That
Or
shit
what
was
is it?
funny
Back
as
to the
fuck,
Hood.
I'm not even gonna lie.
There you go.
Back to the
Okay.
Hood.
The
Yeah.
best bad movie of all time is definitely Roadhouse.
What
It's
is
a
it?
fun movie. It's a bad
I
movie.
love
What movie?
Roadhouse.
But it's great to watch. It's not.
Yeah.
It is not. it is not a good movie.
I mean,
but it is
Dirty Dancing isn't a great movie, but I watch it.
I hated
Well,
Dirty
yeah, no,
Dancing.
but
I
Roadhouse
love
is a
Dirty
good
Dancing.
movie. I've got it on Blu-ray. It's a fantastic damn
Is
movie. I watched it
Grease
3-4
a good
times
movie? No,
What?
but I watch it. Grease.
What?
We're
I-
talking
Oh
about
no,
horror
Grease isn't a good movie,
that
but
are
it's
bad.
fun to watch.
Grease
terrible.
is a horror movie. It's a
It's a horror because I've got to sit there and watch it for like 2
Yeah,
hours.
man, it's a musical. Like
Yeah, it's
pretty
overhyped.
horror-ish.
Yeah, every
But hey,
musical's
if I want to
terrible.
watch one, it's gonna be like that. There's like that and something else that I'll watch. But
No, there are good
I'm out.
movies. There are bad movies that you can watch that are either guilty pleasures or that they're so bad that they are good, or they're so bad that you can make fun of, or they're just
Oh yeah.
they're not a great film.
Exactly. That's exactly what
but-
Freddy Got
but-
Fingered is. It's a terrible and a great movie at the same
Fun.
time.
Yeah. Now,
I heard
but,
you
but,
talking about
Yeah.
this last week, and I wanted to
That
mention that too
category.
because I
Yeah,
fucking love
that's a good
Freddy
movie,
Got
I
man.
Fingered.
love it.
but
Daddy, would you
Roadhouse
like
is
some
one.
sausage?
Roadhouse is one of those. It's a cheesy film, and that's what makes it quote
It
unquote
is, yeah.
bad.
Oh, yeah.
But one bad film that I can't forgive. I mean, there's plenty of them I can't forgive, but I will never watch this damn film again. I might watch it once, just once. Battlefield Earth, one of the shittiest effing movies
Hey.
ever effing made.
I'm a
Oh my
Scientologist.
god.
Rough.
Oh,
I love
God will
John
not give you your
Travolta.
time back, Mark. Don't do it.
Hey, listen, I watched it, and here's why. I was going down this rabbit hole, the Scientology stuff. This is like the origins of everything. It's the fucking worst movie I've ever seen.
Scientology.
The book
Why
is
the
actually
John
good.
Travolta- I don't know. I'm out on all that. Scientology.
Done.
You guys are wild with that. Listen, I do want to tell you something. Hold on.
Is it about Scientology?
I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
okay, so
Dianetics.
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about Battlefield Earth.
Well, that's what it's about.
No. Well,
Yeah.
it is, but it was written by the guy who created Scientology.
Okay, let me
and
say what I was
and
gonna
it's-
say
and
real
it's
quick.
woven
Yeah.
in, but it's still a decent book.
So essentially, if you get to these levels of Scientology, right? Like, so you're always climbing this ladder to get to these levels.
You get your
So
kids.
essentially, the final form of what you get to in Scientology is that your body is made of thousands of organisms. All your skin, everything on the outside is controlling you. So you have, like, I guess, millions of organisms that are built of your body, and that's essentially what Scientology ends up telling you at the end.
Scientology.
Like at
That's okay.
whatever the top level is, you're made up of, on the outside, thousands of organisms, and
Screw that
you're not
crazy
in
shit.
control.
All my knowledge of Scientology comes from South Park. I'm just gonna be honest. That's all I
Well,
need to
yeah.
know.
All of that's the truth that they say on that episode.
It is.
It's crazy.
Hey, listen, does South Park really do it wrong that often? Like, if
Not
there's
really.
a show
They did.
that is,
Book 'em.
is
They
right,
they
that-
did the Mormon religion the right way too.
And then
The
because
Mormon-
the Mormon church like propped it up. They're like,
Fucking
hey, it's free
funniest
advertising
ones, dude.
or good advertising.
Yeah,
They
I
thought.
mean, there's very few times I can think where,
hands down is one of the best animated TV shows and probably one of the best
and
TV
why
shows
it's
in
still
general.
running.
Like
yeah.
it's just good. Like it's wholesome. They make fun of
That's
everything.
wholesome.
They
I don't
always
know about all
punch-
I don't know if it's
they
wholesome.
punch up, they punch down, they punch themselves. Like it's always like it's never like
They're-
a one-sided kind of bullying.
Yeah,
thing.
there's
It's
no
really everybody.
political ideation with it. They're not
Nobody
on
is
the right
safe.
or left.
Nobody's
Exactly.
safe.
Nobody's safe.
Except Muhammad.
Well, yeah.
At
yeah.
wrong because
Yeah.
in the in the
And he
in
was the
the
only one that
you.
made it.
No,
Muhammad. She was
wrong.
Muhammad. You're the one that fucking made it through
when the
South Park.
original Super Friends came out, Muhammad was in it uncensored.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
You forget
really?
about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Did not
like
know that.
it's like let me see season 5 or something. It's a really old episode, but he was
Was
uncensored
Super
when it first
Friends?
aired. Yeah, it's one of the
Really?
yeah in the South Park. The original.
I think I
Super Friends
own the
episode.
first. I want to say I own the first 18 seasons on DVD.
I think it was. I think if you in streaming they retconned it and censored him, but originally he was uncensored.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Hey, would you guys bring it back to games a little bit? What is
South Park the game is great. Okay, there
Which
we go.
one?
uh, so I figured it'd be cool. Everybody just say, like, I know Mark isn't a big horror game fan, but he's trying to kind of dive
There
in
it
a
is.
little bit.
Terrible.
What would, if you just had to name one horror game that kind of represents your taste for that genre, what would it be? We'll leave Mark for last since he's not. Scott,
save me
what's
for
that?
last too.
I gotta think about it.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
go
there's
with
tons
Resident
of
Evil.
different Resident Evil.
I'm gonna go with Resident Evil 2.
2, yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah, the remake though, the remake,
Yeah.
because
remake's good.
I loved the original back in the day, and I did eat it, but I think that they really stepped it up. I liked the new control scheme. It's scary enough, and it's not super frustrating. And there was actually, there was an absence of ammunition here and there, but it wasn't so ridiculous that I was getting attacked all.
Right.
I think that's the one that comes to mind for me. Nothing else comes to mind right now.
Yeah, with Resident Evil, I did want to say it was something I was going to bring up in a little bit, but there are so many like spin-offs of Resident Evil, or like, for instance, I was going to say earlier, it didn't get brought up, but if you're going to play the first Resident Evil, it might sound wild to some people if you don't like handhelds or whatever. For me, if you're not playing the remake on GameCube, the best one to play is on the DS, Deadly Silence. It's like what for the time would have been in like a remastered game with like additional content, easier to control, and I mean you have the whole game there. It's a good game. I just played through it this year.
Gotta jump on it now before DS's like the price goes out the roof.
It's expensive.
It's
around $100 or so.
Yeah, they're going.
Yeah, it is expensive, but
I want to play that new one that's coming
now.
out, where you have to scale the sides of Metal Jesus' house, and you actually have to go into his bedroom and get the spinal
knock it off, bro. You gotta knock it off. Hey, when he comes in the podcast, I'll make sure not to have Scott on here.
Hey, this guy has a bone to pick with you.
Yeah,
no,
man, come on.
I dig Metal Jesus. I do.
Yeah, he's a buddy of the podcast.
I'm sure he would take the ribbing, because I think it's kind of funny how sometimes he will. Well, hey, he can make fun of me and my Borderlands problem. So.
What, Borderlands 2 on the Vita?
No, you didn't hear about my Borderlands problem?
Did we talk about it last week? I don't remember.
I think we talked about it when it's possible Shane wasn't. Yeah, when I played the original Borderlands, somehow I went off the wrong direction. I'll bring this up every damn week just because it's funny.
Yeah, I
do.
remember
The wrong direction. And all I found was skags, and then my kids are like, "You went the wrong way."
He's just like Brandon. He can't read a map.
Dude, I'm telling you what, I had so much. We streamed Borderlands 3 last night, PS5 version, and I was having a lot of trouble with it.
He doesn't know how to read a mini map, and I'm like,
I was like 9 beers in, so I was struggling.
I can play Die Hard Trilogy just watching the map, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Mark, there are people that do like they'll either do like a run with no mini map, or they'll try to play the game with just the mini map, like just being ridiculous.
Borderlands, if you've played them, you don't need the mini map. If you played it enough times, you know where everything's gonna be at.
Well, I can see that if you played it enough, but for me, I'm not like a Borderlands fan or anything. I really like 2, but I don't care. You know what I mean?
They peaked it too. So.
And it's been what, 10 years at this point since I played 2, so it's been a while.
Well, Tony, since I already did mine, we'll go around to the left then. What is your favorite horror?
I'm right there with you. I guess my first foray into real horror genre would be the original Resident Evil on PlayStation. I was trying to remember back on like some like original Nintendo games and stuff, but I don't remember or recall any kind of like really moments that stood out for that console. But when I played original Resident Evil on PlayStation in my fucking basement, my uncle brought it over and he's like, "Here, check this out," and he put it on and left the room. And I mean, I'm probably I don't even know exactly how old when I played it, maybe around like 12, 13. And just entering that first room and just the ambiance of everything and hearing your footsteps, and then of course that fucking dog jumping through the window got everybody with that game. That was the moment for me that was like, okay, this is that horror genre of a game for me. Like that was, and I played the shit out of that first game. I played that game to no end.
I remember seeing someone playing that game. There used to be a really great store in Amherst, Ohio, where I grew up. It was called Flashback Video Games, and my buddy Pete, he was who originated it and opened it, and he did sell it off to one other person and sold to another person and went out of business. There's the brief history on that, but he had this great thing where he had like several TVs hooked up, and if there was a used game or a game that they had opened that just came in, you could play it for 10 or 15 minutes, and you could go, hey, I want to play this for a couple minutes before I buy it, and
Right.
so
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
yeah, and but he you couldn't do that with the new ones. But when I saw Resident Evil there, it was, I remember the dog, and I was just like, oh my god, and then I'm like, holy shit, the guy's got a shotgun and he's shooting at stuff. I'm like, this game's fantastic, and it was one of the games that actually made me buy a PlayStation.
Yeah,
Good reason too.
for sure.
It's good. It was a good game.
Shane, your
Well,
choice
if
now?
I'm
What you
up,
got
let's see,
for us?
I'm gonna break the mold on this because I guess my true first introduction to a horror style game was Friday the 13th on NES.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Now, when I was first introduced to it, I was young. Even between me and a buddy, we could not figure that shit out. Like, NES games were tough back then, but I think the ones that really were more impactful, I'd say, was the Splatterhouse series on Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Just, I mean, I know it's technically like an action platformer, but again,
Yeah.
I'm a monster guy. Like, I'm a
Me
I'm a
too.
creature feature kind
Yeah,
of dude.
that's
so,
still
like,
very horror.
That was-
everything in those games were just over the top, like
For
gnarly
sure.
creatures and stuff. And then another good experience I'd say with a horror game, again, definitely breaking the mold with this one, feel free to disagree. That's Parasite Eve from
Yes,
PlayStation 1.
I can see that. For
Yeah,
sure.
that is 100% a
Makes sense.
horror game that is very heavy with RPG aspects, and I mean that's both of, I mean that's everything I love in one. I mean,
Excellent,
it's
excellent.
turn-based
series.
RPG, horror storytelling, and honestly, the story in Parasite Eve is very intriguing because
Mhm.
a lot of it is based on like actual science and written history, and it's very 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 interesting. And technically, it was a book. I learned this kind of recently that there was a
Oh, wow.
book written by a man in Japan in the 70s, I believe, and part of that book was adapted into what we know as Parasite Eve.
It's
Pretty
interesting.
cool. Did you
Fancy
play
enough.
the third birthday?
I played some of that, but I'm not gonna lie. I already had a bad taste in my mouth from Parasite Eve 2.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Just kind of it becoming more of like a survival horror game. I
Yeah.
like the RPG aspect of the first one, so having the bad experience with 2, like I said, I checked out Third Birthday just to say that I did, but I don't think I stuck around with it long enough to give you an honest review.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Did
had a
you
bad
play it?
taste. Yeah, I played so I kind of had a bad taste with 2 as well. Third birthday was good, more actiony, of course.
Mhm.
Like it went more actiony. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
that's-
going to play any of the games, it's 1 and probably that. Like, if you're going
Yeah.
to, yeah.
I hate that series died off.
I do
I-
too, man.
I just
That was
want
a
to
good
mention
one.
the Eep was saying Parasite Eve's a sequel to the novel, and then they made a movie of the novel as well.
Yes,
Hmm.
there was a movie about it as well. I don't think it was
Interesting.
localized over here.
Probably not.
So it's something we'd have to
Interesting.
catch up
Or
somehow.
you,
but
you
yeah,
could probably
that is
watch
as
it, but you're
well.
probably gonna have to watch it like subtitled.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Do we know a title
Really,
for
really
that?
shitty English dub over.
I read the title, but when I don't recall it though.
You probably have to like
Interesting.
search it up.
Well, I was gonna say for mine, I was gonna give 2, kind of like Shane did, because it doesn't really count. But I had a TurboGrafx as a kid, so my NES was the 26. We always did like console hopping, so we had one console at a time. So I had 2600 first, went to NES, and then went to TurboGrafx, and I had that for like probably like 6 months. So like Splatterhouse when I was a kid, I thought it was Jason. Like I didn't really know.
Well, it looked like Jason. He had the hockey
Yeah,
mask,
definitely
so
did.
therefore you're going.
Yep, the machete. Yeah.
But I
Oh,
never played the original Splatterhouses on either TurboGrafx or on
Oh,
Genesis.
you
I mean,
should for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, I have
Go
the
TurboGrafx. So
I have
if
the
you
one
can.
for the 360, which is of course is a reboot, and a button.
You can play
mashing
that.
reboot.
You can play the first one on it.
Can you?
unlock the game. Yeah.
It's
Oh, I didn't know you could unlock
all
it.
Yeah,
the
you can
originals
unlock
are
it.
on it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
play it
I-
on there. That's why that's so much money, I think, because those games for physical.
Mhm.
Well, that was a game that I had, and it was one of those. Oh crap! I traded that game in. I wish I never would have. And then when I was at CAG, I was looking for a few things, and that was one of the things I saw. And I was like, oh, and this I saw one for the one for the PS3 that I saw was like, I don't know, about $20 or $30 more.
Yeah, it's
And I
all,
was just-
that's how it always goes.
Yeah, and we'll say, and it was the same thing with Lollipop Chainsaw. It's always more
Always that
expensive
way.
on PS3.
PS3 is more expensive.
Yeah,
That's good.
and yeah, well, watch my video on that one. Trust me, watch my video on
Mhm.
that.
I heard people were upset
Sony.
there's not a sequel to that coming out.
Wait, what?
It's a
remake,
technically it's a re. I've heard reboot.
Reboot.
I've heard remake, but I've heard
It's,
I've heard
it's a both.
reboot.
It's a reboot. They're making it a different story. Yeah, reboot.
But
Dude,
with
come on. They're doing
with
it.
Splatterhouse, I was happy that I found a copy. I think I paid. I want to say I paid $45 for it.
That's a good price.
And that wasn't bad. And I was like, okay, cool. I asked, and so I grabbed it, but I never got to play it to unlock it to see that they had the original Splatterhouse on there. So great.
That game's not
Speaking
great.
of some Splatterhouse, though, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Wizard Reproduction, because that guy makes some kick-ass copies this time of year of Splatterhouse, and he does some Ghostbusters 2 carts that are like clear with like
With the blood?
slime in them
Yes.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
those are
some
cool.
slime
Is
carts
he
right
still
here.
doing those?
Yeah.
Is he still doing them?
Yeah,
He's gonna do
he's doing
one
another
more
run this
run.
year.
Send me a link,
Yeah.
because I want
Yeah.
those. Send me a link, yeah. I'll support
Good
that. I
fucking
wanted
luck,
those.
bro. People wait in line for that shit. I
Yeah,
got me
send me a
one
link.
luckily, but he makes
Send me
some
a
really
link
cool
then.
Splatterhouse
Well,
pieces
then
as well.
I'll take
No,
Shane.
no link for
if I don't-
you. No link for you.
Then I'll come and take Shane real quick. I'm only a street down.
No link for you.
But
Yeah, he
I
makes
do wanna
he makes
say-
some really cool copies of Splatterhouse as well. Though they're like clear carts
Mhm.
with like blood on
So
the inside of
cool.
them and stuff. It looks
So-
for
awesome.
Genesis, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's Wanpaku Graffiti for NES, which was
Okay.
Yeah.
technically a Splatterhouse. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Splatterhouse Light, I think.
Yeah. That's cool. Send me the link of that. I wouldn't say for my actual choice would be Eternal Darkness, just because of how unique and weird the game was.
Very original. Very.
If you haven't played the game, I won't spoil anything, but it messes with you. The game.
It looks,
I'm not,
but,
I'm not
it
explaining
looks so slow though. I mean,
No,
I know
it's
back in the
good.
day when you were
just
playing
start-
it.
It just starts.
start-
a little slow.
But
Okay.
here's why it's my favorite. The game messes with your system. it
Yeah, it does some interesting things.
yeah, I don't want to tell you what, but some things
mean kinda
happen.
like
Talked about that earlier though, right?
Well,
think
Metal-
it's
yeah,
yeah,
Well, the
think
original Metal Gear
Psycho
did
Mantis.
that too. Hey, you have to switch
Yeah.
over to port number 2, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and all
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
Think of that.
did.
and Elaborate on it more.
yeah,
Okay.
it does that kind of to an extreme.
Why is my
kind of.
GameCube smoking?
Well, yeah, it would actually from my understanding there was even a part where it would make you think your game was completely erased off your memory card.
But yeah, that's why I didn't want to
Really?
say it.
You,
It'll say that
reboot
it's
your console and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
console error or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's like
it would make
Yeah,
you
I
think
guess so.
Mom, I need a new GameCube. What's going on here? And your memory card would be corrupted. Yeah, it'll say your memory card's corrupted, and that happened to me. And I'm like, dude, I just remember I forget how old I would have been at that time, but probably 14
it's
or
crushed.
something,
Just
12,
internally
13.
crushed.
Oh yeah, I was so sad
I
because
can't
it had
believe my GameCube's dead.
yeah, man, I had my Pokemon Coliseum on there and Scorpion King. If anybody cares about how bad that game is, but all my saves on there.
Probably
from
better
that
than
time.
the movie.
It's so bad, dude. That game's so bad, it's good. But yeah, that would be my main choice: Splatterhouse and probably Eternal Darkness.
Oh, so is it to me now?
All right, Mark. All right, Mark.
I don't know.
Mark, where you at, Mark?
I guess I
End-
narrowed
end
it down to
end it.
3. And
If
these
you
are
say Jenga, I'm gonna come there and kick your ass.
it's not a game I play. I'm listing off games I actually played
Okay.
and I liked. The first one, it would the only as a small child, it's the only game that kind of teeters in that horror area with Lost Kingdoms. Just because I was a kid, if you've played it, it's got that aura that you don't really see a lot. You just wander into an area.
No.
Okay.
I guess I'd say it's number 3. Number 2, I would say the first Last of Us game. And only because I played it in early 2020. So right as the pandemic's playing, I play a game based on a pandemic that decimates the world. Perfect
That
timing.
could, yeah, that,
Yeah.
yeah, no
perfect
shit.
timing.
That game does have elements of horror, and I guess you could probably classify it.
Oh no,
to
it,
a
yeah,
little bit.
it does. I would agree.
But I would say clearly of all the games I've actually played, and this like a unconventional list would be the Metro series as a whole. But if I had to pick one, the first one, because I never
Yeah,
I never
that
played
gives
other games.
it's an
like,
eerie game.
Yeah, I never played like any of the Resident Evil games outside like attempting to play the first one. So obviously none of those are going to be on my list. But
Right.
it's something different as well.
That
You
music
go
in
into
that
the
first
unknown
Metroid,
on
though.
Metroid. Yeah, you go like into the unknown. You don't know what you're
Music.
doing.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel. That's more like exploration to me. I never had that sense of dread or horror to me when I played a Metroid game.
Well, play Metroid
No.
Dread then.
I mean, you have the anxiety. Like when I first played Fusion as a kid, running away from the SAX as Samus, but I never got like afraid of it.
You calling Borderlands a horror game?
To him,
No,
it is.
I just for some reason have a PC copy of Borderlands. I'll show Mark.
No, nobody ever talks about Medieval, though.
Horrifying.
Medieval
Nobody,
is one of my
nobody ever
favorite
talks
games.
about Alarm
This is a horror
on
game.
the PC. So
What is
what is that? Dude, I want that because Reggie brought it up. Yeah, I've been wanting to grab that.
The reason why I bought
fishing
this
game.
was because of Reggie.
Is that a
Yeah,
fishing
I'm gonna
game?
grab it.
Fishing
It's on
game.
Alarm.
I've had it
Yeah,
sitting
it's on
here for
Amazon.
I don't know 3-4 months, and I haven't.
How's it a
touched it.
horror game?
So-
Because it's terrible,
It's-
man.
'cause
It's
in
a box set. Yeah, it's gonna be worth some money
horrifyingly
just because it's a
good.
big box.
I just want to bring it up. Winter Minute said no Alone in the Dark or Seventh Guess. I'm disappointed in you guys. LOL.
Alone in the Dark. is-
I mean,
Alone in the Dark's
man,
good, man.
The
Oh,
Dead
I've never
Rising.
played either of them.
Yeah.
very, very archaic, but like the redone Alone in the Dark, like the ones from like the Dreamcast era, that
Yeah,
one
they
was
just-
really good.
They just
Tried
made
to
a
do, like,
did a
video
remaster.
and-
I played through that. this
What
year.
was the other one you mentioned?
Seventh Guess.
Seventh Guest. That was for the CDI.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
I've never heard
I
of
only
either.
Yeah.
recall that game being on the CDI.
Yeah, it was.
Which it
I
was,
have
it was
it over-
interesting.
It's too
But,
high
I
to
mean,
grab it, but yeah, it's one of the
uh,
couple that I have.
It's one of those I guess
Interesting.
you could classify as it's so bad.
It was a
it's
DOS
kinda
game.
Good for the humor.
It was a DOS game.
Yeah.
I think that's where he
Mm.
probably played it. But yeah,
oh, well,
it's-
you're probably right. It probably was a lot better on computer.
it probably. I didn't play it, but I know it was
Everything-
like talked about as a DOS
Everything's
game,
better on
so.
PC. You just have to.
But you see,
Everything's better on
I've
TDI.
never been a computer gamer. I mean,
Me neither. I don't
Yeah.
talk about it.
technically,
So much
if you
good
want to
shit on
count,
there that I'm missing
you know,
out on, though.
playing on the computer, playing on the Commodore 64 or something like that, sure. I'm sure some people would say, yeah, that's but I've never. I mean, even my Macs that are sitting here and the PCs that I've had, I've never really had any game. I've had Zuma on, but I know that there's plenty of you name the genre, I know that there's stuff that I've missed out on
Yeah, same.
over
yeah.
the years just because I'm a console gamer only.
I mean, most
No.
games are on
So-
console. Maybe some of the older stuff.
retro computing is where like I guess my kind of passion for computer
Same,
games
I
I
lies.
just want to mention
Like,
real quick,
98.
Winter
Yeah.
Winter Mute said it was a DOS game.
Yeah,
If you want to be specific.
Oh, that's that's what's it? There's like a sequel for it, but I knew that was a DOS game. Some of these games that were on those systems are usually like DOS
Mhm.
games for sure.
Yeah,
I've never played that
ports
version,
and
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Eep was also saying get Reggie on here.
Oh, he's coming on. We got him as a guest lined up, so we'll have him on here. He is going to be at Tour Gaming Expo, so that is November 5th.
Very
I know that Scott will be there, and
Yep.
I'm planning to do some content, so we'll probably link up with Scott for that as well. So
And I will be
try
talking.
to plan some trips on the next one, man. Try to fly our asses up that way for the weekend or something. See if we can.
how about you just
Come
come
check
fly to
it out.
see me, Tony?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
charge it on that
Hey,
Game Junction credit
Brandon,
card. bring
is-
it
That's
up.
what I'm saying, right? Like, open it up under your name.
Hey Brandon, was
Gotta
that
get-
That's only about an
Sorry.
8. Where are you in Georgia, Tony?
Athens.
It's not that bad,
what?
really. I think I looked.
No,
at
I
it,
mean that's probably about a 9-hour drive.
Yeah, it said like almost 9 hours. Yeah.
Hey Brandon, is
You
11th
stalking me?
hour ring any bells?
No, I wanted to come out to your event, Tony.
Hey Brandon,
I was trying. Yeah.
You'd have been one of the only people that did.
did you hear what I said, Brandon?
No, it's good. Mark,
Is
sorry.
11th hour what you're trying to think of for the sequel for 7th?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was
That's
thinking of.
good.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that I know well.
Yeah, they brought it
But-
back up in
Hang
chat.
on, hang on now.
Well, y'all talking
he's
about some
another-
He's
bullshit in
reaching.
Athens.
He's
flying
grabbing
everywhere.
an NES game.
Yep, there's one we're definitely overlooking.
As he
Look at all those
stutters on
NES
video.
games. It's ridiculous.
Ooh.
Did you
What about
Uninvited.
Chiller? What about Chiller? Did
They're
anybody play
organized
Chiller?
very nicely. I like how they look.
Chiller's good too.
I never
think,
played
it's
it.
a light game,
It's-
but oh, dude,
Yeah, it's like a
Uninvited,
shooter. Ooh,
Uninvited.
Uninvited was a good one.
I didn't play that either.
I was actually going to use some of those graphics on our opening screen.
What the fuck is that thing?
I've got one that I'll share this one while we're still on here as well. Give me a
Some old
second.
school retro shit.
I don't own anything older than a SNES
it is.
game.
That's a good one right there. Uninvited.
Spooky. Woo.
Skeleton
Oh
Man.
my god, the player's guide. They made a player's guide for this game. That thing is
Wow.
retardedly expensive and rare. People pay like $500 for that book.
Jesus.
That's a lot of
I'll
money.
share
See, they
this
just-
one. Go ahead.
He's gonna share it without his video.
Yeah, I was going.
Camera ain't on.
Oh, did my video go off? What
yeah, it
happened?
did. I don't know.
There you go.
It's coming back.
It did that earlier.
He's back.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
This is the last Vita release game, and it's called Moose Man. It's not really my style. Have you?
Heard of it? No.
Yeah,
Never
it's
seen it once.
it's like a point and click like puzzle horror game. I don't know exactly how it works. I figured I'd just share it because it's kind of cool. This was the last one that came out, so
Nice.
it's kind of neat.
Who handled that release?
East Asia Soft.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah,
Yeah.
PlayAsia. Very cool.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure you get that
Yeah.
game rated.
Bro, come on, chill out. It is rated. It's
Send it to Wada.
No, that's not
He
what I
said
meant.
graded.
Not
could, man.
not
It's
rated.
pretty
I
mint.
guess it's graded. I guess is the right term. I said
Graded,
Yeah.
graded.
Yeah.
I
send
was
it
gonna
to
say
Wada.
like what?
I said the wrong
Yeah.
word.
Yeah,
Just
I
send it
guess
down
you
here.
could.
We got VGA right around the corner. I'll just take it over
Well,
there to him.
We have I don't do the grading thing myself, but we
I
do
don't
have
either.
Standard Gaming that sponsored Tour Gaming Expo this year, which is a new grading company that's opened up here in Columbus, Ohio, and the
New
guy that
grading
runs it
network.
worked for WADA for like 7 years or something. Like was doing
Nice.
their company that was like grading coins or something before that. So
Oh well, now are you talking about the guys from PSA?
no.
That
This
their
is a new.
branch?
I know
Is
the
it?
guy personally. Like we set up as a sponsor. His name's Brett Charville, but he opened up like his own grading company here in Columbus, Ohio. Like it's just opening up, brand
Okay,
new.
so it's private. It's
Yeah.
gotcha, it's his.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he worked for WADA, so he's still friends with them. They work together. It's like I don't get it all because I don't do the grading stuff much, but
You need to slide
Yeah.
him my sealed copy of Hang Time for SNES. See what I
Hey.
can get on that.
send it to me. They're going to be great. Hey, we'll get it graded for you. I'm serious. You want to do it? I wouldn't mind doing one game just to, I
Just
guess,
to do
show
it.
support for a local
be
grading
cool.
company. But
Oh,
Always
that's
support them
awesome.
locals, man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, seems to be pretty cool guy. Talked with him, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, he's going to be a sponsor this year, so that'll be kind of cool. But I think all these East Asia soft games I have on the Vita are still like in the thing, except one. I actually played one of them, but I only played it because it already came open from Macari, so it was terrible.
Doesn't
Terrible
open it
game.
now.
Which one
The,
was?
the Moose Man's terrible.
No. I haven't played that. I don't know. This game's called Gambar. It's a soccer game, but it's like a Fire Emblem turn-based soccer game.
That doesn't make any sense. at all.
What?
Dude, it's a turn-based
How is soccer
strategy.
turn-based?
It's a strategy RPG soccer game. I don't know how else to explain it.
This
You
is-
have your
I
wanna
Japanese
play
players.
That sounds
There's
right.
some
I
weird
wanna
ass
play it.
Asian games out there.
Hey, bro.
I would like to play a
Not for me,
turn-based
but-
foosball game, turn-based
Okay,
foosball.
you're
would
getting
be
a
great.
little too wild for me.
You can just see him now holding that little thing back. Ah.
Right.
Sounds like some anime or some
Yeah.
anime shit.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
There's an interesting tennis game that's on TurboGrafx that's actually like an RPG. called
Yeah,
World
there's
Court
actually-
tennis.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of turn-based or like RPG tennis games because all the Mario handheld ones are RPGs. as
Oh
well.
yeah, I guess those kind of
Game Boy Color, GBA.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah, and they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
Like the one on the Game Boy Color, that's a good game. Like if you're not an RPG fan, play this. It's a tennis RPG and it's good.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anybody have any other cool topics or anything you want to talk about this week?
I think we
We
have
got to
some good
save
stuff
some
on
of the
this one.
good stuff for later.
Next
closer to
episode,
Halloween.
next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't have to
Next
bring
Tune
it
in
Sunday.
for more spooktacular
Can't be
topics.
gushing it all out ahead of time.
No.
Like your blood.
Yeah, we have to. We have to drip it
Hey,
out
man, this is-
slowly over October.
Yeah,
Don't
for
want
real.
to bleed all
True.
over everybody. at
Yeah, no, I
once.
know. That's what I was thinking. I don't want to give all of our horror discussion topics away now because we dived into everything tonight.
You
Like-
dabbled. You get more specific later.
Yeah, well,
Alright.
I know. I still want the. Which one is it that you have? Is it the swamp? Or who is it that you have? I can't remember. You were selling.
What's up?
You were selling some of those cutouts
Oh.
of candies.
Well, I've got a Master Chief one, and then I've got one that has Slash on it from Guitar Hero 3.
Oh no,
think
like the horror ones. You had horror ones that you were selling at some point.
Yeah, it's just my Resident Evil
Oh.
one that I have, and I
No,
think
this
I
was a
used to-
movie one. This was a movie one you sent me.
Oh yeah, I had one for it was for Bela
Was it-
Lugosi's Dracula.
Yeah.
Then it
Okay.
was Karloff's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
those were
those
the
were
two.
cool. Those were cool.
I'm not gonna lie.
But
He mentioned Slash, and I just thought about the South Park episode with Slash, where they treating Slash like Santa Claus, essentially. Completely unrelated. It just came to my mind. I don't know why.
Nice.
he doesn't
I used
listen
to have
Guns
one of
N'
those
Roses.
Guitar Hero 3 boxes with Slash and stuff. It was about
Yeah,
Halloween
yeah.
big.
Mm.
And I had it for years and years, and I think we had to throw it away. So it
I
got
have
ruined
that
somehow.
still.
I wish I could get hold of one of those. I used to keep all my guitars in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Wow.
Because it was brought up.
But,
Any of you play Rock of the Dead?
I've not played that, but I have it on
It's-
360.
It's
yeah.
terrible. It's
Is it?
absolutely terrible.
I have zero interest in playing it. I really don't know why it was sitting there, to be honest with you.
It's a horror music game, apparently. I don't know. The Eat brought it up.
It's a Guitar Hero with horror characters, right?
I don't know how you make Guitar Hero horror genre.
Is it horror
It's-
characters or does it have like,
it's
actual,
not
like
even.
horror songs?
I don't know.
I don't
I
really-
never
I'm not
played
sure.
it.
Dude,
I never played it.
It was so shitty that I got rid of it immediately.
It's like a D level
Nice.
game. It was like a
Yes,
some throwaway
yes.
company that put it
You
out.
would find it.
$2
Right,
game at GameStop.
Let's just put it like this: the budget bins would actually would fall out of the budget bins because all the rest of the games that were good in the budget bins were pushing them out.
Yeah,
It was that shitty.
Yeah,
Bad.
GameStops were selling them like 99 cents, $2. It was crazy.
It's funny.
But yeah, I think we had a pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
episode tonight, boys. So appreciate everybody watching tonight. Definitely give a like, comment, and subscribe. We did YouTube tonight. Next week we are planning to be streaming on Twitch as well. There's some issues setting up, but
The three, hitting all three.
hitting all three, we're getting there. Things are going good. So we appreciate everybody watching, commenting.
Yeah.
Special guest.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Special guest next week.
Special guest next week. And
Make
we'll
it more
see you
chaotic.
guys later. Appreciate you checking it out
Tune
tonight.
in next time.
See y'all later.
Later.
Podcast.